And another beautiful day in Panama, warm and breezy. 9th edition of the Latin America Amateur Championship, last played here in 2017. And the front runner is the 20-year-old from Mexico, Omar Morales. One of the favorites coming in, highest rated player in the World Amateur Golf Rankings at 72. Remember, he briefly led the U.S. Open in Los Angeles 2023. He plays college golf in L.A. at UCLA. Rich Lerner alongside Andy North, and a great start for Omar Morales, who began the day with a one-shot lead after a pair of 69s to get this tournament underway.
Tee times much earlier today. Very huge lack of wind, and the players are definitely taking advantage of it. Tap that one in, and then onto the second hole, 5 par. They move the tee up a little bit. The longer players are going for this green in 2. He knocks it over the green, pitches back to a couple feet. What a nice start. Birdie, birdie, get out of the gate.
Now at the 4th hole, looking for a 3rd birdie.
This is the club that he says gives him the most trouble. When a player says that they're not a good putter, they're not going to make a lot of them, but that's a huge putt for his confidence early in the day. 3 birdies his first 4 holes.
To 5 under and stretching the lead, which was only 1 to begin.
Fuente, this nice way to get the day started. His first hole rolling in a 20-footer.
Another Mexican standout, Santiago de la Fuente. He's an All-American at the University of Houston. Been close a couple of times at this championship. And he matches Omar Morales with 2 birdies in the first 2 holes. Playing alongside Mateo Fuenmayor of Colombia.
Again, this is another player. They're just absolutely peppering these first few holes. Nothing better than make a couple of birdies your first 3 or 4 holes, get off to a real positive start. Here's a big putt at the 4th.
Go ahead, Fuenmayor, and do that. Yes. He needed it because he bogeyed number 1, but birdies at 3 and 4, getting Fuenmayor to 2 under par and 3 behind. How about Virgilio Paz from Venezuela? Plays his college golf at the University of Missouri.
And this is birdied the first hole. Now this is the second, the par 5. The players are really taking advantage of. They get near the green today in 2, tapping that one in. Birdie, birdie start for him.
Made a bogey at number 6. He's at 2 over and 7 back. Andre Xavier of Brazil for birdie at number 6.
That got him back to even for the first 6 holes today.
So now the leaderboard, it is Morales playing beautifully and leading by 3. A lot on the line. Spots in 3 majors in 2024. It's the Latin America Amateur Championship. The Masters Tournament, in partnership with the R&A and USGA, proudly present the 2024 Latin America Amateur Championship. January's nice in the country of Panama if you like 80 and sunny. 25 and cloudy along the east coast of the United States. So this, a soft landing in the middle of a hard winter. Santa Maria Golf Club's 12 years old. Game of golf goes back over a century in Panama through the years. Arnold Palmer, Sam Snead, Roberto Di Vincenzo, among other notables, won tournaments right here in Panama. Great to be alongside Andy, twice a U.S. Open champion. Colt Knost, former U.S. Amateur champion. Iona Stephen has played professionally around the world. John Sutcliffe will have the interviews. So again, the early story on day number 3 here just outside of Panama City is the scoring. It is considerably better, and this was moments ago at the 7th, Omar Morales.
He's been that from 149, headed a little right of it.
Another solid shot.
He's been very aggressive off the tee. If he drives it well, he's going to be hard to beat.
I've really been impressed how he's driven the ball over the first 2 days in the high winds. Today, winds down quite a bit, about half as much as they've been. Because of that, the players are taking advantage of it. How about that?
Virgilio Paz from Venezuela, a 3rd birdie on the day. Now we're live at the 7th. Let's go down to Colt with Fuenmayor.
What a start for this group. All of them under par. This from 35 feet coming down the hill and needs to get going.
He's a senior at Oregon State. Won the Duck Invitational last year. So,
Yeah,
Andy, here we go. This is that story. The scoring on day number 3. At last, it's loosened up.
the low score, the first 2 rounds of 68, there were 5 69s. 25 players already under par. Obviously, they haven't finished their rounds, but the scoring is about 4 full shots better than it's been the first 2 days because of the lack of wind.
Yeah, so just the wind. What else on those first 2 days?
There's a few of the tees they've moved up a little bit today, but not dramatically, but enough that it'll make a club or so difference. One particularly the 17th hole, where it's been over 180, 190. It's about 140 today. That helps, but the big deal, the lack of wind.
And Colt, your impressions of the championship leader, Omar Morales?
Well, he's, in my opinion, the best ball striker in the field by far. Has just been striping it all week. Missed a number of putts inside of 8 feet yesterday. If the putter gets going, I mean, he could easily run away from the field. Just continues to give himself great looks at birdie. This from 25 feet. Has pretty good pace.
He also played a PGA Tour Mexico Open at Vedante. Missed the cut by only 1. Second round, 67. So given that he played the U.S. Open, hit the opening tee shot at LACC North, played the pro event in Mexico, you would think he won't be overwhelmed by the moment here this weekend.
Well, he's talked quite a bit this week about how the experience at the U.S. Open, not only hitting the first tee shot, which is pressure-packed, but also then going out and shoot 3 under the first 9 holes and getting the lead, that he's really been able to pull on that experience. Tapping in for a nice solid par at 7. Par there is never a bad thing.
Yeah, he's a big rangy guy. He's 6'3".
Seems to not get too excited about what's going on out there. Just goes about his business.
Juan Mayor.
Oh, my.
That hurts. Chase, you can't give those away.
There's so much slope in these greens. You've got to pay attention to all these short putts. You got to have a short putt. You have to start out of the hole from 2 feet. Just stay in the present. That's a disappointing 3 putt.
I think Colombia, obviously, it is Camilo Villegas, recent winner on the PGA Tour in Bermuda. Sebastián Muñoz as well. Now De La Fuente. He was runner-up in 2022 and 9th a year ago. And this at the 8th, Vicente Marcilio of Argentina.
Beautiful shot, just off the back fringe, but very makeable. Only about 10 feet from the hole.
Pleasant at 88 degrees,
Oh, it's
Andy.
a nice, cool day.
Yeah, we were in the 90s the first couple of days with some humidity.
The big deal is the winds. I mean, we had winds in the high 20s, middle 20s all day, both Thursday and Friday. The players had really the first 5 or 6 holes with no wind, and it's only going to be in the 10, 12, 15 miles an hour most of the day, maybe gusts of up to 18. And they're getting ready to get to the par 4 8th hole. Beautiful par 4. 250 yards short of this today. They moved the tee up a little bit. Hole's playing quite a bit shorter. You see almost every player knocking over that bunker. The thing they did to make this hole difficult, the back hole location. It's up on top of a little plateau. It's a very, very small area, only about 20 feet by 20 feet. But it's very, very flat. If you can get it back in that back area, you've got a great chance to make a birdie.
Let's bring in Iona Stephen with Andre Xavier.
Yes, hello everyone, and looking forward to watching this young talent again. 22-year-old from Brazil. Was out with him yesterday, and he's very solid tee to green, and he looks confident with the putter in his hand, but just did not hold it enough of them. Just to the right-hand side of this 8th green. This is a tough one to control. He's done pretty well there.
That's an old school wristy stab right there, Andy. Kind of like it. So Morales led at 2 under par. We just had 2 in red figures through 36 holes. Again, Andy detailing just how challenging it was. 55 players making the cut at 14 over par. We started with 108. And low Panamanian, our friend Miguel Ordonez, who joined us in the booth yesterday, was just terrific, and we expect to have him back. Shot 70 yesterday, and he's getting after it again today. 5 of the 8 Panamanians did make the cut, so all happy about that here in Panama. And 8 Argentinians made the cut. LATAM goes back to Argentina and Pilar next year. Now Virgilio Paz for birdie.
9th hole playing so much easier today than it has. Almost a half a shot easier. That's a nice play off of the back fringe.
Back to the 8th, and Arzu.
Unfortunately lost one right off the tee, Arzu, so had to play 3 from the tee, 4 to here, rolling now for 5. Didn't quite look so balanced there.
Disappointing to put it out of bounds on the tee shot. There's a lot of room on the 8th hole.
19 years old from Guatemala. Tasted the lead on day number 1 just briefly. And now Marcilio, who is a senior at Texas Tech.
Yeah, great to see this young man in the mix again. He's had some good results. Runner-up in 2022, 3rd in 2023. And now for birdie, just off the fringe, down the slope.
In the neighborhood of 30 playing college golf in the United States. Another 30 have played. 5 more are on the way. This has become really a productive pathway for so many players to get to the United States and the higher levels of competition, college golf in America.
Well, to be able to get a scholarship, and some of these kids never dreamed of having the chance to get a scholarship, and it's all going to happen because of this great game of golf.
All right, Colt.
T moved up here today at 8, just 265 to cover those bunkers, so he can get over it with a 3-wood if he wanted to. Straight downwind. Got to put this ball in the fairway, though, with this hole located on the back top shelf. Andy, he doesn't watch his tee shots very long. They're normally striped.
Yeah, you love it when you hit it. You look down, look where your tee went, because you know it's right down the middle. And he has driven the ball just beautifully. Not only in a lot of fairways, but he's been one of the 2 or 3 longest guys in the field.
Yeah, there aren't many divots up there.
No divot zones are an excellent place to be. It's a close-up right foot, well off the green, off the ground as he hits it.
De La Fuente.
Another player that can really hit it.
Yeah, in my opinion, Rich, these are the this is the cream of the crop right here. These two, they can absolutely stripe it. I think they're going to have a nice battle the next day and a half.
You can see why they are the 2 highest rated players in the field. Now, Fuenmayor.
Three beauties right there.
Sure takes a lot of heat off you when they've moved the tee up and you know you can carry it over those bunkers. That makes that a much wider fairway.
Different flights. De La Fuente went up to about the 10th floor of the high rise, and Fuenmayor about the 2nd floor. Xavier for the par at the 8th. We saw that yesterday, Andy, lifting a bit on those shorter putts.
And he's missed most of them to the right. 8th hole playing half a shot easier than it did the first 2 days. Partially because they've moved the tee up.
Now, this is Jose Antonio Safa of Mexico at the short 11th.
And he's a couple under par so far. We're going to see some fun stuff at the 11th today. They moved the tee up enough that most of the players could drive it right around the green, maybe see some eagles.
Beautiful culture and warm-hearted people. We have really enjoyed our time here in Panama.
Let's go over to the 9th tee. Xavier with a tee shot. This hole playing much easier than the last couple days, and this is headed left. Oh, he was so fortunate. The out of bounds is just 4 yards left of that. He thinks it's gone. He's fortunate that it took a nice soft kick before it got on the cart path and just bobbled down the cart path. So it's going to be playable. Somebody who's just let him know that it's stayed in, but that's a situation that a lot of times the player will hit a provisional just to make a good swing and get a good positive vibe in their head before they move forward. The 9th hole, terrific golf hole. The winds are starting to pick up. They've had a nice 2 hours out here with it being very calm. Now they're going to have to start fighting the wind again, but not nearly at the strength we've seen the first couple of days.
Power to do. IBM, let's create. AT&T, we believe connecting changes everything. Mercedes-Benz, the vehicles are all electric, the feeling is all Mercedes, the choice is all yours. Featured games today here in round number 3. Andre Xavier of Brazil, Vicente Marcilio, Argentina, Jose Arzu of Guatemala. In the final game, it is Omar Morales of Mexico, Mateo Fuenmayor of Colombia, and then also from Mexico, Santiago de la Fuente. Now to the 8th, and let's once again bring in Cole.
De La Fuente has 112 yards left. This hole located on the top shelf, 108 gets you up top. And it is so small, Rich. Only 4 in front of it and 4 behind it, so you have to be very precise with this wedge shot. That noise you hear is them working on your penthouse up there, Rich.
Quite comfortable where we are, right here at this outstanding hotel.
By moving up the tee, the change in this golf through the first 2 days, only 13 birdies on the 8th. There's already been 5 today. And I'm guessing we might see another one here.
Morales leaving no stone unturned. Getting a good look. And now Fuenmayor ready to go.
And Morales actually walked all the way up to the green, had his caddy shoot where he wants to land it. But Fuenmayor has 76 yards. He's going to have to land this below the slope and try to skip it back there.
They've got it up here far enough, Cole. That might make this a much easier shot, that you can control it a little bit better.
That's really good from there. Well judged. Morales hit a bomb off the tee, just 66 yards. He was standing in the neighborhood of about 52 where he wants to land it. It's definitely going to take a rather big first bounce with this helping wind.
As he will try to flight this down a little bit, skip it once, and have it creep up on that back slope.
Oh, that hit extremely soft. What a golf shot.
He continues to impress. Already 3 under for his round and without a bogey. Well, we're in Central America, bordering the Caribbean and Pacific. You can swim in both oceans in the same day between Costa Rica and Colombia along a narrow S-shaped strip of land. Of course, Panama famous for, we all know, the Panama Canal, which connects the Atlantic with the Pacific. It was built to reduce the time it took for ships to travel between the oceans, cutting across the Isthmus of Panama, sort of a conduit. Not sort of, it is a conduit for maritime trade. Incredible how it works. Locks at each end, lifting the ships up to a lake. They're lowered at the other end. Think about, you find it online, Teddy Roosevelt posing for the cameras with a big steam shovel during construction of the canal. 1906 is one of the most difficult engineering projects ever undertaken.
This is because of the canal. This is a huge banking city, really the central banking area for the entire South Americas, Central America. Because of it, the building that's gone on here over the last 15, 20 years is amazing. What we've seen the difference from 7 years ago when we got here.
Back to this final group, 8th hole. And Cole, you can sort of speak to it, having won one of the greatest amateur championships in the world, the U.S. Amateur. What is at stake here? What comes with a victory? How it could change their lives?
Yeah, to the victor go the spoils. I mean, you're talking about the U.S. Open, the Open Championship, the Masters Tournament. Playing 3 of 4 majors this year is incredible. And then also the amateur, the U.S. Amateur. So much at stake here, and it's all or nothing. Second place, it's a great week, but it doesn't get you what a win would.
De La Fuente, he has been close. Runner-up 2 years ago, Casa de Campo in the Dominican Republic.
And a putt he can be really aggressive with. Oh, just slides by.
We've seen a great history of this event where players come close to winning, finishing second or third, maybe losing in a playoff. They've come right back and won either the next year or the year after.
Well, that has absolutely been the pattern. In fact, 7 years ago, Joaquin Niemann lost the playoff to Toto Gana here. The playoff included Alvaro Ortiz of Mexico. And then Niemann came right back in his home country of Chile the next year. 63 final round to win the Latin America Amateur. Fuenmayor now. Oh, it's a good roll. And then Alvaro Ortiz
came back and won 2 years later.
Right, 2019, he shot 66. That was some round at Casa de Campo in the teeth of the dog.
I think the important thing for these two guys playing with Omar Morales is not to try to force too much. They're pretty far behind right now. They know he's a quality player, but they have to stay patient and not try to do too much. You can't make up that many shots in one hole. Just be patient. Take your chances when the opportunity is there.
Really good chance that they're going to be one shot further behind after this putt. Not much in it.
No, there's not. He can keep this inside the hole and just smash it. But this is the length he struggled on yesterday, Andy.
One nice thing is that that back portion of the green is so flat. It's just hit a solid putt here. It should go in.
Started the day with a one-shot lead. It is now 4 as he heads to the 9th hole. Too early to think about it, but this is where he is headed, potentially. Invitations to the Champion, Augusta National, and the Masters. Pinehurst #2 for the U.S. Open, Royal Troon for the Open, Ballyliffin in Ireland, and Hazeltine National for the U.S. Am.
There's still a lot of holes to be played. He's got a night's sleep. He's playing better than anybody here, but you just never know. And that's why every one of these birdies he can make this morning, just keep making them, because you never can get far enough ahead. It's always hard to put the finishing nail in.
And we spoke with Omar Tejera, who's playing from Panama, jumped into the booth with us on day one. He played with Omar Morales that first round, and he was obviously impressed. He said he took some aggressive lines and intimated that it might pay a price at some point.
Well, so far, it definitely hasn't. The key is you can take some great lines like that if you're driving the ball well, and he has really driven it well. He's been in the fairway most of the time and exceptionally long. I mean, he took that tough 8th hole and turned into a drive and a little pitch. And if you can do that, what an advantage.
Think about UCLA, Corey Pavin at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills.
I believe yesterday was the 50th anniversary of Notre Dame knocking off UCLA and breaking their 88-game win streak.
The Austin Carr Notre Dame team that have been. In any event, they play some fantastic golf courses in Los Angeles. I mean, it's Bel Air, LACC, occasionally Riviera, Hillcrest, Brentwood,
unbelievable.
Valencia.
You don't have enough cash to be able to play all those places. So you want to play them? Yeah. Go get on scholarship at UCLA. This 9th hole, looking back at it, just a spectacular par 4. It's been one of the 2 or 3 most difficult holes in the golf course. You don't need to hit driver if you don't want to. And it looks like Morales has gone with the fairway metal. Colt
hit a big pull here yesterday and got very fortunate to stay in bounds. Has to forget about that. He's going with the same club once again in this 3rd round.
Started to the right of that bunker you can see in the left center of your screen.
This one drawing towards that bunker. Needs to stay right. Oh, just sent it right over it.
It's kind of nice to be able to stand up there with a three metal and carry it about 285 over any trouble.
Yeah, and as long as we're talking UCLA, that was not the Austin Carr team. I should know better. That was John Shoemate, Dwight Clay, Gary Brokaw had the big game. That was what UCLA's 88-game win streak. They snapped. He's tall enough at 6'3", Andy.
Maybe a nice shooting guard.
Could you play shooting guard at that size anymore, or are you just a point?
If you're a shooter, yes. If you're a shooter, you can play anywhere at any size. Another perfect tee shot.
Mayor.
Going with his driving iron. I would have to believe.
I think that's also a good play. That's the option here. You can hit it with a long iron, you can hit it with the driver, you can hit it with the fairway metal, whatever you feel comfortable, but it takes a quality shot. And here's a look at the ninth. Trouble all along the right-hand side, out of bounds where that road is on the left. You can lay it up just short of the bunker. You can take it to the right of the bunker, or you can take it over the bunker. So you've got different options. The key is coming into this green, you want the ball in the fairway. Some tough hole locations. Today it's up on a little ledge in the middle left. Do not miss this green left. There's not much chance to get it up and in if you do that.
Suddenly, Omar Morales is playing a game of catch me if you can. He has opened up a 4-shot lead with 4 birdies through 8 holes here in magnificent Panama.
We are looking back down the 9th hole from behind. It is a spectacular par 4. They played an AGA event here last year that this was the most difficult hole in the golf course for that event. It's been close to the most difficult hole this week. It's been 1, 2, or 3 in that rotation. Let's go over to the 10th, par 5, really a nice driving hole. Marcelio will be going first. That bunker in the fairway, if you can miss that either right or left, that's just fine. If you can miss it to the right, it shortens this hole dramatically. But obviously that's a very, very dangerous tee shot to put it in there. Anything just left of the bunker, there's a big, big fairway. It's a good tee shot. You can reach this green in 2. A lot of the players have been able to take it over this bunker, the very longest ones. Ooh, that one I'm not so sure carried. That changes how you play this hole. Now you're going to have to lay up and then come in there with a wedge.
The Latin America Amateur Championship is brought to you by Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? IBM, let's create. AT&T, we believe connecting changes everything. Mercedes-Benz, the vehicles are all electric, the feeling is all Mercedes, the choice is all yours. 9th hole, 3rd round here in Panama, the Latin America Amateur Championship with Omar Morales of Mexico leading by 4 with 4 birdies so far. Impeccable display. And Colt Knost is with his final group.
All 3 of these guys playing really nice today, but Omar in a league of his own right now. 4 under through 8 holes. Haven't seen many guys that low on the golf course this week. Definitely playing a little easier today with the wind being down just a little bit. And these overcast skies, Andy, I think are keeping a little bit of the moisture in the greens.
I think, too, that the sun doesn't seem to be as hot. Earlier in the week, there was not a cloud in the sky, and it was just brutally hot. Got a great look at the scoring average. Almost 6 shots easier today than the first 2 rounds.
Mateo has 165, just 6 paces behind this hole location.
All the room is to the right.
Wind's got this one moving it pretty good to the left. That's okay.
Yeah, that one's not too bad. If you miss long left, no chance.
See Golf Colombia on his sleeve. All the federations now are investing in the game.
Here's a look at his swing at it. You can see he's trying to hang on at the end. He felt like maybe that was going left, and he really kind of a minor chicken wing to hold it off a little bit.
Mexico has grown its program. Golf's an Olympic sport now. Countries will invest in Olympic sports.
Morales has 143 off a pretty severe downslope, which will help him flight it into this wind. This one drawing towards the hole looks really good.
Just carries it a few yards too far, but what a nice shot.
Boy, he just flushed it right through the wind.
And here's a look at his downswinging contact. All ball first, then the divot. The shaft of the club vibrates. I think that's one that you can't believe that actually happens when you're swinging at it.
That from just 134 needs to get going.
Yes. It skipped up onto that level. That will be a good birdie opportunity.
And Virgilio Paz.
Oh, unfortunately, that one never had a chance. Played the first opening 9 and 2 under par. So he's moving the right direction.
You can really see it. Morales is dialed right now. He's playing with a lot of confidence. He lumbers his way to the 9th hole with that 4-shot lead. And at the moment, a command of this golf course. As we said, Santa Maria, highly respected. It's one of only 13 courses in Panama among the premier layouts in the region. Here now an overview of this Panamanian gem.
We are super excited to be able to host the LAAC in 2024 Santa Maria, Panama. It has been an effort of very many years from our ownership and partners from APA Golf.
We were proud and honored to be considered back in 2017 when we hosted the first LAAC here in Panama. We're proud and honored to be hosting it for the second time, and we hope that they keep us as one of their destinations every couple of years.
A lot of months of preparation, a lot of details, so it's not just maintaining your course as usual. It's a lot of teamwork, and I think as the week goes on, we will see that it was accomplished by everybody. So much from the Santa Maria team as well as from everybody at LAAC supporting us.
There's 2 different stretches on the golf course that have been identified, and I think they can be instrumental in this week at LAAC.
I think that the green compounds are sophisticated, to say the least, depending on how and where they put the pin locations. It's going to be interesting.
I think the most challenging part is going to be the putting. We have some long holes, but these young kids hit very far, so I think the challenges are going to be in the greens.
It's a dream come true for us. Ownership, the resort, and all the staff being able to host LAAC this year is going to be superb. It's an effort of many people for a number of months, and obviously goes to show the commitment that we have with the growth of the game.
Wonderful host this week. Hats off to Tito Mata and his entire team here at Santa Maria. Such gracious, warm-hearted hosts as we take you back out to the 9th. Mateo Fuenmayor. So it's a great stretch of golf here in Panama after the LAAC Corn Ferry Tour arriving early next month. They'll play at Panama Golf Club. We were there for the 2017 Latin America Amateur Championship won by Toto Gana. By the way, Arnie's grandson, we mentioned Arnie won the Panama Open in 1956. Sam Saunders lost a playoff to Pearson Coody, grandson of another Masters champion, Charlie Coody, last year at the Panama Open. So I love the game here. Now Morales for birdie just off the green, Colt.
Probably the fastest putt he's had all week. It is straight downhill, down grain, and downwind. It's 25 feet, but he probably only needs to hit it 7 or 8 feet to get it all the way there.
He's been so clean and it's been so effortless so far. Just make sure you don't make any mistakes with this club. You don't have to make them all. Just don't put yourself in a position where you can miss a 3 or 4 footer by getting extra aggressive. Colt, he just barely got that started.
Oh my, that was not good at all. Andy, I think that's one of those ones he was just probably trying to two-putt, just lag it down there. Normally when you do that, you come up short.
Colt, I always think it's interesting that you get one of these super fast putts. The great players usually leave them short because they know it's so fast that they overdo it.
And on the
Santiago
reverse,
de la Puente.
yeah, Santiago, he can be extremely aggressive. This one uphill the entire way, right about 15 feet.
This would be a huge putt. A make and a miss. All of a sudden it cuts the lead in half.
That is 2 in a row. He has just burned the right edge.
Santi, as they call him, played the Palmer Cup last year and beat the 5th ranked amateur in the world, North Carolina standout David Ford, in singles. He can go. Santiago de la Fuente won the American Athletic Conference individual title, also helped Houston win the team championship.
He's come close in this event before, knows what it's like to be on that back nine on a Sunday afternoon with a chance to win. That will help him tomorrow.
I think Houston, 92 Masters winner Freddie Couples, and the great Jim Nance, Houston Cougars. As important as any of those birdies he's made.
Yeah, big confidence builder. 31 on the front. That's just what he probably visualized sitting in his room last night. If I just go out there and hit all these great shots, I can easily shoot 31.
Taking command of this championship. First 9 holes here, round number 3. And here is Jaco Duena at the 13th hole. This for birdie. He's a good player.
How about this start on the back nine? Eagle, birdie, birdie, birdie. 4 under for the day, 5 under for the last 4 holes.
Dad Marcello's a professional tennis player, was years ago. The Jaco Duena of Argentina is making a move. Trying to get everybody fired up here. Right now, it is all about Omar Morales of Mexico, leading by 4.
Omar Morales, 6 under par, 4 under par the first 9 holes. Look at as we go down to the 11th hole. They've moved the tee up a little bit today, 285 to the hole. It's playing about 20 yards shorter than the first couple of days. You see a lot of players in that area pitching, chipping. See some balls on the green. That's a putt at the 10th green. We should see some birdies there today. Maybe a few eagles.
This group a little bit flustered, Andy, because they've been on the clock the last couple of holes and it's been a little bit rushed. They just need to settle themselves now.
He's made a lot of birdies. He's making a few bogeys. He can eliminate some of the mistakes, Iona. He still have a chance. Zeus just leaving it short. Hole location today is an area that really sets up for an eagle opportunity. Just get it around the front of the green.
Andy, it's a long walk from 9 green to 10 tee. Chance to gather your thoughts for the back 9.
Maybe a lot of muttering under your breath as you wander through that. They basically just had another hole here that you could walk to get to 10. Great development, a lot of beautiful homes and condos on this golf course. This would be the worst place to spend maybe 4 months in the middle of the winter. Easy to get here from the United States.
Yeah, direct flights from all across the U.S. To 4.5 hours from New York City, 3 and change from Miami. A lot of direct flights, various airlines, including Copa.
Delta, one of our sponsors, right there on the tee.
You can stay connected to all the Latin America Amateur Championship action anywhere, anytime. Visit LAACgolf.com and follow the championship on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Tenth tee with the leader.
Cole, we saw him just hammered over this bunker yesterday. I assume same idea today.
290 covers that bunker, Andy, and there is some helping wind. His ball speed's close to 180 miles an hour, so should be no problem.
You see a tent in the back distance, just at the left edge of that bunker. Be a nice aim line.
Just another beauty right there.
Not even thought about the bunker as it goes over, and it's in the right portion of the fairway. It's going to be no more than a middle iron left to this green.
That could be as little as 7 or 8 iron from there, Andy. That is huge.
555 today. Driver and a 7 iron. That has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, he's got that sizable shoe down on the accelerator right now.
I think that shows you where his confidence is, though. Hitting it up the right side, very aggressive. Now Santiago also picks up the tee rather quickly. Covers the bunker, was way down there as well.
2 terrific tee shots. I really believe also, Colt, that these are the 2 class of the field.
There is no doubt about that. When you're on the range watching them hit balls, they just have a different sound than the other competitors. This one up the left side, needs to hang on to catch the fairway.
It is going to stay there. It's going to be a little bit longer second, but still I think he should be able to reach the green from there.
Up ahead, Vicente Marcilio, Argentina.
Also had to lay up, which he was frustrated about. But he's found himself on the green, looking to find a putt. Not one of these players have held a putt since I've been out here following them yet. Could this be it?
that was a good read, and we've seen most of the players miss that to the left. The fact that he figured it out, just a little unlucky. Now, pause for this birdie at 11. We saw him hit a nice pitch from about 40 yards short of the green. Another little right to lefter. There you go.
Yeah.
Starting with 2 birdies on this second 9, so he is off and running.
Good player. And a year ago became the first ever amateur winner of the Venezuela Open. Luduena at the 14th.
Par 3 today, 184 yards.
Oh, go ahead.
Look at
Turn
this.
for home.
Figured
Yes.
it out perfectly.
I mean, filling it up. He won late last year back in Argentina. He won a professional event, and he beat, how's this, Alejandro Tosti, who's now a rookie on the PGA Tour. He beat Alejandro Tosti in a playoff to get the W. One of 8 Argentinians to have made the cut. Well done. The home country, Panama, with 5 making it to the weekend, including the son of the president of the Panama Golf Association, Miguel Duran. Samuel Duran, 17, made the cut.
That's pretty cool. But how about that start on the back 9? Eagle, birdie, 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 birdie. Absolutely awesome. It is fun watching birdies down here in Panama. How clear is that water?
He's gone bananas, this kid. He's all the way up to 5th.
Now that was Marsilio with his tee shot 11. That has enough to get there. Oh, just hit softly, just short. But boy, you can chip it in from there. I think we're going to see an eagle here before the day's over. Marsilio's got a lot of game. I think he's got a great future in front of him. He's played exceptionally well here a few times. Jesus going with the iron off the tee. You know, player puts a game plan together. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to stick with that game plan. You're going to lay it up on this hole 4 days in a row. You're probably going to make 2 birdies and 2 pars. If you go at the green with the driver, you might make an eagle, a birdie, a bogey, and a double bogey. So it's just however you want to do it. Another layup. Xavier with needs to turn just a little bit. 2 perfect layups and 1 perfect tee shot. So that's your option. You can go either direction, whatever you feel comfortable.
Back to the 10th hole, par 5 here at the Santa Maria Golf Club. And, this is our final group. 4-shot lead for Mexico's Omar Morales. Let's go down to Colt.
Mateo's going to be first to go. 227 yards to the hole, 218 to the front edge. Coming off a rather severe downslope. This is going to be tough to get it in the air, cover that bunker, and stop it before it gets over the green. Boy, he struck that really nice. Just left of the hole. That's a great leave.
Probably 4 or 5 yards off the green on the left. Might be able to putt it even from there. What a difference being over this right-hand side, Cole. So much shorter.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Santiago has just 204, 195 to the front. And with this whole location on the left, shouldn't really have to worry about the water running down the right side. Looks like he's going with 6-iron.
Just trying to land it right on that front yardage number.
This really good looking, right in the center of the green.
A couple of things I really like about his game, Andy. He's got the soft hands that we've seen over the last few days. Also has a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah, he's got it all. He's just keeps refining everything. He's looked to be a better player every year we've seen him here. There's a nice look at his golf swing. He really holds his angle, drives onto his left side.
Omar Morales, he moved that one.
Yeah, where he drove it, he's looking for a Pedro Grande. Just 200 yards left, 191 to the front.
You called 7-iron or 8-iron on the tee. That's about what he's got.
And where he drove it, his lie's pretty flat. Everybody else has been back on the downslope. So his length is a huge advantage here at 10. We noticed this a couple times yesterday, Andy. When he backs off, obviously not quite completely comfortable, and it led to some poor shots. When he's committed, he stripes it. Oh, he's hung this right. This needs to go. Okay.
It did. It's fine.
Took a nice hop to the left. He's only about 15 to 18 feet for eagle.
That had a late left turn on it.
It's all going his way. Here's a better look at number 10.
Yeah, this 10th hole is just a beautiful par 5. Gives the players all kinds of options. You can lay up to this bunker and then lay up again up to the right of the other bunkers, or if you have that length, you just take it right over the bunker, and then you've got an opportunity to knock it on here in 2. If you have to lay up, you want to lay up in that area, give yourself a nice full sand wedge. The hole's cut today right in the front left-hand corner of the green. Very accessible. You do not want to knock it over this green. If you do that, it's tough to get it up and in. It really slopes away from you over the green.
Easy stroll for the leader. At the 11th, second shot for the Brazilian, Andre Xavier.
Yeah, sensible tee shot. That was 111. He's pretty confident with a wedge in his hand.
Nice
Pretty.
shot.
Really polished move. You see it everywhere you look. While we have a moment, let's go down to John Sutcliffe.
Rich, we've talked about how during these years everything has evolved, the quality of the golf courses, the equipment, physically preparation of the players, but I can tell you the mental side is something that's also evolved. On the Mexican team, their sports psychology, they work with some players. Jorge Martinez, I saw him last night. He said, I'm leaving, I just gave a session. So it's very important to learn to handle tus emociones, your emotions, tus nervios. How nervous can you get or not? Just imagine if you're watching golf today and you're a great amateur player, the fact that these young kids have the opportunity to play the Masters, the US Open, and the Open Championship. So if something has changed during these years at this tournament is la cabeza, the head. Be ready, have the confidence that you can get it done.
Thank you, John. Andy, in having won 2 U.S. Opens, you dealt with pressure at the very highest levels. How did you do that?
I think it was really important. I was fortunate. I played a lot of other sports as a kid. You learn to be a good player on a bad team. You learn to be a bad player on a good team. You understand how that works. You understand the different kinds of competition. My dad was a coach, and one of the things he told me, I don't care how nervous you are, don't ever let anybody know you are. And to me, that was, important. Don't ever let anybody else know that you're dying inside.
I had the good fortune to interview your good friend, Jack Nicklaus, as we take you to the 11th hole, Vicente Marcilio. This was a couple of weeks ago. No one better in the pressure department. If majors are the measuring stick, then Jack Nicklaus. And he said when he got to the back nine on Sunday and he felt some of the nerves, he would simply stop for a moment. As we watch Fuenmayor, he would look around, he would see all the people, the galleries having fun, excited, and he would smile and say, this is fun. Go enjoy yourself the last 5 holes, see what you can do.
You put all the work in, all those hundreds and thousands of hours of hitting balls by yourself and chipping and putting at dark and all that stuff to get yourself in position to do something special. So why not enjoy it?
And the other thing Jack said was you have to get there. In other words, Saturday was crucial.
Exactly. You've got to
here
work
we
your
are.
way to the back nine on Sunday. There's a lot to do before you get to that back nine on Sunday.
Exactly. So Colt, how'd you deal with pressure?
I didn't have to deal with much of it.
Well, I mean, look, you won a U.S. Amateur.
Yeah, but the few times, I mean, yeah, you want those nerves. You embrace that. You realize, I mean, if you're in 40th place, not much on the line. You go out there and free wheel it, but you want to embrace the nervous energy you've got. Your body obviously feels different, but I think if you welcome the challenge, you'll succeed.
Colt, you made a really good point. Your body feels different. Your body does get different, and being there a lot of times, you learn how to control your body.
All right, Iona, let's see if Xavier can finish this off after that beautiful little shot.
Yeah, we've got 2 good looks here.
Laid up and still made birdie.
All right, now De La Fuente could use this.
Pretty good look, moving to his left, but didn't hit it.
Boy, you're putting first. You'd like to be able to make it, put some pressure on the guy you're chasing down. And Rich, I think too, it makes it, if you're a great putter, it makes these pressure situations a lot more comfortable because you know that you can make that 5-footer. It's like being a great free throw shooter at the end of a game. You know you want that opportunity because you're great at that. See if Morales can, another opportunity to lengthen his lead.
Got his older brother, Jamil Jr. on the bag. His father, Jamil Sr., is here in the gallery. Told me he is scared to death on every shot. But his son looks in full control. This from 25 feet. Slow one moving to his left.
Just keep it inside that coin, it looks like to me. That's been the miss on the 10th hole. Everybody is missing it low. But nice tap in birdie. That's as easy as it gets.
5 under through 10 in the 3rd round for Omar Morales, and now 7 under. And what started as a 1-shot lead is now 5.
And Rich, the 5 birdies he's made, that equals the best of any player in the field for one single round, and he's got 8 holes to play.
Okay, Fuenmayor tied for 2nd. I was just looking at these other scores, particularly Waco Luena. You can make a lot happen on these remaining 8 holes. Birdie putt now at the 11th for Vicente Marcilio.
He deserves that one.
The great tee shot set that birdie up.
And at 12, this to save par, Virgilio Paz.
12th hole's a hole that you don't expect to have a putt this length to save a par, but it doesn't matter now. He looks very comfortable with that club.
For so many of these guys, the dream is to play at the highest level, the PGA Tour. Certainly De La Fuente has his eyes on that. But there are so many other opportunities here in Latin America region. PGA Tour Americas, Korn Ferry Tour we mentioned. They play upwards of a half-dozen events down here.
There are a lot of college coaches that are paying very close attention to this tournament every year. A couple of 16-year-olds and 3 17-year-olds made the cut, which is pretty interesting. And we had 3 40-year-olds make the cut. So it's a nice balance of youth, experience.
All right, 5-shot lead. What's your best advice for somebody who's sitting on a big lead as they get to this 11th hole?
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Don't hit it in that.
Just keep doing. And this 11th hole is a beautiful short hole, and it was designed to be a potential drivable hole. You can lay it up left of those bunkers short, or you can take a chance, hit driver out in that area short of the green. Today, only 274 to the front edge of the green. You see some players be able to knock it on here easily. Could we see a 2? I think we will.
What have they been attempting to do over the 3 days here in terms of the setup and trying to challenge these players?
Yeah, I think they've done a really great job. I thought Thursday the golf course was set up just as difficult as you probably could have set it up from a hole location standpoint. It's a process of doing this. They have, at the beginning of the week, the officials will sit down, talk about what they think of the golf course, how they want to prepare it during the week, and then balance it out. So today they decided we're going to give the guys some chances for birdies. They moved the tees up a little bit. They've given them some hole locations that weren't quite as severe. And because of that, with the not as much wind early on, we're seeing some great scoring.
It's Greg Sanfilippo of the USGA, David Wilson, R&A, handling this setup. Golf course in terms of agronomy, Darren Brevard, Senior Director of Agronomy, and then Remy Gonzalez, Superintendent here at Santa Maria.
Colty's taking the big stick.
Why wouldn't you when you drive it the way he does? 285 back into the wind. Would love to drop it right where he hit it yesterday. Knocked it right on the front edge.
The line is probably just left of the crane in the distance, you can see. Maybe at that bunker would be a really nice spot.
This one struck very solidly just left of the green. Should be fine.
He is
what a great
big
shot.
And rangy and athletic, explosive. And, you and I love basketball. He's got kind of, basketball bounce to him.
Let's take a look at this golf swing. He does pick it up a little bit quickly, but he really stays down with his legs. The chest turns out of the way right here. You see that power. He's kind of jumping up off the ground with his modern day length. Really gets to his left side hard. That's a beautiful golf swing.
All right, De La Fuente.
And for Omar, that's just such a big shot. I know he hit a great one yesterday, but he saw a couple of disasters here from his playing partners. So to get through that one has to be a huge relief. And De La Fuente steps in with driver.
And hitting first, putting pressure on De La Fuente. Oh, get down.
Oh boy, this one headed left. This could be trouble.
Well, it is trouble, but it's stayed on the golf course. He's going to be chipping it back. Let's see if anything we see here. Club head coming through the ball. It's so easy. With all that trouble on the right, you give yourself a little bit of extra at the end and pull it a little bit. Got to just trust it.
Oh boy. This is a bullet that headed at that bunker, needs to go. I believe that crossed the penalty area line and bounced back in.
If it landed up there over the red line, you can drop it back up there. So that would be a huge deal. It's coming in. From that angle, it's really hard to tell. They probably would have had a better angle from the tee to see if it carried over it.
Well, Andy, as you know, this championship would not have been possible without the support from the 3 major organizations, the Masters Tournament, the R&A, and USGA. It continues to be their mission to elevate the amateur game in every part of the world. Here is Iona.
This is the 9th playing of the Latin American Amateur Championship, and we're at the beautiful Santa Maria Golf Club in Panama City. For the founding partners, it's another opportunity to grow the game in the region, with invites to 3 of golf's majors awaiting for the champion.
Our 3 organizations are involved in many initiatives. This is the one that we all do together, and it's one that's very important and very special.
Yeah, I have a plaque in my office that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
It's about then the next generation, the younger ones, being able to see, I want a piece of that. I want to be there next year. I'm going to go and learn how to develop my game.
We all have the same mission, the same goals, and that is to grow the game of golf, to create pathways for players to excel and to move up the ladder. And this event in Latin America is certainly an example of that.
Obviously, the core event here was to generate real inspiration and real growth in the region, but it's a great example how when this game comes together, we just make the game better.
Latin American golfers continue to be successful in professional golf, including players who have in fact gone on to win at the highest level. What do you think that says about the strength of this event and the potential of the players who compete in this championship each year?
Yeah, the bottom line is when you change dreams, dreams become reality. I think we're providing pathways and opportunities here that maybe young kids, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, wouldn't have even envisioned for themselves just 10 years ago.
The field is getting stronger every year, both at the top, but also in the bottom half of the field. And we have a lot more really good players that are showing up every year, and that's also showing up in how they're doing throughout the world where they play golf.
I've seen some wonderful things, but I mean, watching Joaquin Niemann win in Chile was just fantastic. And I'm sure he has inspired a whole group of the next generation in Chile. And to me, that's what we try to deliver in this championship, and it's our job just then to get out of the way and let them show us how good they are.
We're seeing more and more players really play well in a lot of different places, and we think that this event really has spurred a lot of that on.
We're very proud of the fact that our Open Championships are open and that you can play your way into amateurs, but we think having a spot in the field, whether that's the U.S. Amateur or the U.S. Open for this winter, not only changes their lives, but most importantly, changes the lives of their kids and their kids' kids for generations to come.
Augusta National, from its founding, its co-founder Bobby Jones has always felt that amateur golf was a very important part of the golf ecosystem. And I think in the times we live in, where there's a lot of uncertainty in the game of golf, particularly in the professional side, that amateur golf really becomes even more important.
The best players will find a way to learn and improve. We've seen it at the Open, and I greatly enjoy watching the amateurs tee off, and I feel for them sometimes because the challenge they're about to undertake. But it's a joy to watch the next generation go out there, and we will get a major champion coming out of the LAAC in the not too distant future. I'm absolutely certain of it.
And to Martin's point, they have produced Nico Echeverria won the Puerto Rico Open on the PGA Tour last year. Fred Biondi, NCAA individual champion at your alma mater, Andy, the University of Florida. Raul Pereira joining Toasty as a rookie on the PGA Tour. Niemann just won the Australian Open, and Muñoz the silver medal in the Pan Am Games. All of these players, Latin America Amateur Championship alums.
I can't thank these 3 organizations and their leadership enough for what they've done, working together, putting their individual ideas aside to what was better as a group, and because of they've created not only this great championship but also the Asian Championship, where it's changed so many players' lives.
Well said. Here is De La Puente trying to get out of here with a 4. I know the guiding principle at Augusta National is very simple. Do what's right. The R&A, they don't do just what's important for the R&A. They do what's important for golf. They consider it their duty to sustain and promote the sport, and the USGA has that same ethic. Xavier.
Coming out of the rough, it's not going to spin as much, and he judged that very well. He is a really good looking young player.
All right, let's bring in Colt for a little bit more on Fuenmayor.
Yeah, everyone in the group agreed that the ball did cross the penalty area and bounce backwards. They were just kind of looking to see if it could possibly be caught up in the tall weeds. But they've agreed it did cross, so he'll be able to drop on this side and should have a relatively straightforward pitch for his third.
So, chance to save par. It did bounce in. Still can get out of here with a 4. De La Fuente needs to get it up and down for 4. He's 4 shots back of Morales.
Yeah, he was very fortunate to stay in bounds with that tee shot. I thought he could have possibly hit it on the green from where he was, but elected to just chip it out and get it back in play. He's got around 30 yards going back into the wind, so should be able to put some spin on it.
Colt, we've seen him hit some just beautiful pitch shots this week. All different kinds. Looks like he's going upstairs with this one a little bit.
Everyone that plays with him just raves about his hands.
Oh, what a shot.
Don't you just love that technique?
Oh, that is just beautiful. Nice and relaxed. No tension in his hands and arms. That was just gorgeous.
Andy, I love it. It was the same speed back and same speed through. No
Yep.
acceleration, just nice lazy swing and clipped it right off the top of the turf.
Yeah, I think lazy is a great term for that, Colt. Just never hurried, never rushed.
He started off at Arkansas Tech, then he transferred to Houston. He said he just wanted better competition, better golf courses, with the goal of moving up those World Amateur Golf rankings. And since we saw him finish runner-up a couple of years ago at Casa, he's moved about 1,000 spots. He's inside the top 100 right now, and in fact is 87th in the world as we watch Fuenmayor.
A little bit of work left. But if you could get out of here with a par after putting in the penalty area, that'd be really pretty good. Okay, look at it. The ball's really sitting down in the grass. Did a nice job getting a little bit of altitude on it to help it slow it down, but no spin at all. That's the reason it ran out so much.
Xavier at the 12th. Birdie putt to get back to even.
Just should slide just to his right as it gets up there. Just hit it through the break.
So he's in that group at 1 over par. That's tied for 5th at the moment. Shot back, by the way, is Joaquin Niemann. Just a quick update on what he's been doing. He was 6 under through the first 5 holes of his backside with an eagle at 10. He did bogey the par 4 15th. Yeah, Iona is on her way to pick up with the Argentine who is tearing it up. And now an eagle putt for Morales.
And Rich, if this one goes in, it'd be pretty hard for him to not start thinking about turning off Washington Road and heading down Magnolia Lane. There's a lot of golf left, but this is a great opportunity for an eagle.
This looks pretty good.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Omar
Morales. Eagle, and he is now 7 under through 11 holes with a 6-shot lead here at the Latin America Amateur Championship.
This might be a little bit early, but he's only got to get 4 more to hit that magic 50. Yeah, he is, and doesn't get real excited. Yep, I knocked it in. Okay, now we got to go figure out the next shot. And I like that about him. He's not jumping around.
He's using his length to overpower the golf course.
When he makes putts, he is almost unbeatable at this level.
Good work, Fuenmayor to save 4 with the ball in the water here off the tee at the 11th. But he dropped 2 shots because the leader just made eagle. He's just pouring it on. And 16. Here is the hottest player. Outside of Morales, it is Uduena.
Just making bogey at the previous hole, and he has missed it in a spot that's going to be very difficult to get it up and in at 16.
Now it's 12th.
Playing ready golf here. This group is a little bit behind. Santiago going with driver, trying to force it up there. This one is dangerous up the right.
And Andy, you're okay with that? You know, the leader giving up the tee with the momentum?
I like that. The fact that especially if you're a little bit behind, if you get over there and hit it, just keep things moving, get caught back up. And we've seen that more than a few times in the history of this event. They've let, well, it stayed up. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it looks like it's sitting against the penalty area stake, actually.
It is.
And I agree with you. On Saturday, I'm perfectly fine with him getting up and going. Sunday might be a different story.
Yeah.
But I like that Omar is sticking to his plan here. He's hit driver here yesterday and hit a beauty. Why not do it again?
He just keeps not only hitting down the middle of the fairway cold, he is just pounding him down there. Again, no divot zones.
It's one seed after the next. Now Uduena, let's bring in Iona.
Yeah, that's a really, really tricky shot. I'm disappointed with that one. Is it going to stay up there because it's a big false front? Yeah, that's not the spot you want to miss it. And as we know, it's so important to miss it round here in the right spots. No, gee whiz. Taking full advantage of that lighter breeze, as we've discussed. Very impressive performance from the 25-year-old on his debut.
He took a year off from golf when he was 18, was just slightly burned out. Then he went to work at his dad's restaurant and said, "This isn't for me." He came back to golf with renewed focus and purpose. And now Fuenmayor.
All three of these guys going with driver. This one is smoked, but heading up the right side, needs to go to cover the water.
Yeah, second straight tee
did.
shot.
I think that even surprised him. He had looked like that was lost for sure, and it still carried on ground. That was a long ways down there.
He's 7 under through 11 holes. It is a par 70, and right now, with that tee ball, he's wearing it out. What a performance in Panama by Omar Morales of Mexico.
We're looking at the scores. Scoring today, exceptional. Only 6 players shot under par during the first 2 rounds. Not the case today. 2 under par 68 was the lowest score over the first 2 days. Omar Morales, if he can make a couple more birdies, he'll be in the position to start thinking about 59 as he's coming down those last couple of holes. Just a marvelous round of golf, very much like the round we saw in the 4th round in Chile, where Joaquin Niemann shot 63. Where he went on a stretch of 7 or 8 holes that he played 7 under par. But our leader looks comfortable. and is driving the ball exceptionally well. Brother on the bag, they're having some laughs, enjoying it.
Already with invitations to the Masters, who will be the 6th amateur to make it to Butler Cabin. Christo Lamprecht led the Open at Royal Liverpool with 65 day one. He won the amateur. And Nick Dunlap, how about Nick Dunlap is tied for 3rd. He's still an amateur, University of Alabama. He's tied for 3rd at the American Express in the California desert on the PGA Tour right now. Trying to become the first amateur since Phil Mickelson, 1991, to win on the PGA Tour. And then you've got Stuart Hagestad, who won the Mid-Am, Jasper Stubbs, with all of those clutch putts at Royal Melbourne, winning the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. And now Morales is hoping to join that group. By the way, the lowest ever round at a Latin America Amateur Championship in the 8 previous events, 63 twice. Joaquin Niemann did it final round in 2018 back in Chile, and then a year ago Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira, 3rd round, 63. 16 now. This is a par save for Luena. So back-to-back bogeys for Waco Luduena, who went eagle, birdie, 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 birdie to start the backside. Started the day 6 over par for the championship. And now he's 3 under for the round. Morales. You know, Colt, just curious, you watch a lot of the PGA Tour. How does Omar's tee ball stack up?
It is very impressive. It's a very long, very straight. I mean, he described himself perfectly yesterday. I said, who do you compare yourself to in the pro ranks? He said, anybody that hits it really good and doesn't putt that well. Well, today, the putter is working, and that's why he's 7 under par through 11 holes. And with a great chance to pick up another one right here, just 67 yards. Couldn't have walked it out here any better.
So you're going to have to bounce it up that ridge to get to the hole location?
He can either try to bounce it or lay it open and put some spin on it. Couple of options. That was an unforced error right there.
Still should be able to putt the ball from the back fringe.
De La Fuente.
His ball was leaning against the penalty area stake. Had a rules official over just to make sure he did everything properly. Oh, that is a great shot from there.
You couldn't have thrown it. You had to land the ball right on the fringe, just over the bunker coming out of the rough, and he did it. That was a terrific play.
Smile, kid. All right, now 13, Andre Xavier from Brazil.
Hole location sort of just the middle of the green. Throw it out to the right and let it come off the ridge on the right if you want. Oh, beautiful play. That is really a nice shot. As good a fine a shot as we've seen at 13 today.
Xavier has hit some excellent shots the last couple of days. Now, Mateo Fuenmayor from Colombia.
Flirted with that water, but now has a great opportunity to pick one up here at 12.
He'll have a great chance. Another one of those really good initiatives. Drive, chip, and putt. And for more information, kids age 7 to 15 getting the chance to compete at Augusta National. Go to drivechipandputt.com for more. Augusta National Women's Amateur. Then Drive, Chip, and Putt National Finals. Then Masters Week. No longer an unreachable house high on the hill, Augusta National. young woman, junior boy or girl, young player from any part of Latin America or Asia, and it's a dream, you can make it a reality now. You can get there. Just enjoy those images that come out of that Sunday. Fist pumping kids, names on the big leaderboard there at 18. Some of the past champions there to cheer them on. And they present the trophies. The membership takes great pride in it, as they do in all that they do there and around the world. Now Morales for yet another birdie.
Definitely not his best pitch shot, but still a decent chance. Just 18 feet coming down the hill, moving to his left.
He was thinking make.
He's definitely not going to back off. He's kept a real great attitude the entire week. He's not gotten excited, even with some of the poor shots he may have hit early in the week. He hasn't hit very many of them.
He could use this one, Colt.
Yes, he could. And you mentioned he plays at the University of Houston. His coach, Jonathan Dismuke, told me he's a great player, but even a better person. He's everything a coach wants in a player.
That was a beautiful
that kind
stroke.
of day.
Just a beautiful stroke. Ran it right over the edge again. That's about 3 or 4 of those today.
Yeah, cinches the right edge. Be remiss, we talk about Houston, if we didn't mention our pal. He was great at Houston, Billy Ray Brown.
Back in my day, Dave Williams was the coach there. He created an amazing program. Won a bunch of national championships.
And now Mateo Fuenmayor.
But Colt, to walk off this green with a birdie after when his tee shot was in the air, he didn't know it was going to carry the water.
Yeah, he's got some serious speed. That was a big carry. Oh, nice catch, Hole. Going back to Houston, didn't Masters champion Nick Faldo spend about 12 minutes there?
Maybe that much. Now, they've had a lot of great players go through there over the years.
Yeah. Mexican flag proudly on display here. Let's see. 2 on top right now, 1 pulling away. This guy right here, Omar Morales.
UCLA's produced some pretty good players as well. Patrick Cantlay, Kevin Chappell, Brant Jobe, Corey Pavin, as you mentioned earlier.
Scott McCarron, Steve Pate.
Oh, the volcano.
Duffy Waldorf. Duffy go to UCLA? He did. So, 9 under and a 3-shot lead. 69-69 to open. And cruising at this point. Take you up to the 13th now, Xavier.
After that fabulous iron, see if you can pay this off. That away. That's it. 13's a good birdie. Plays back into the breeze.
Solo 4th now, Andre Xavier at even par. Now, Waco Luduena at the 17th.
140 yards, much shorter. The tee's up, down the breeze. Just a wedge.
Plans to turn professional next week. 15th hole. There's Justin Hastings.
Hastings with 4 birdies, 2 bogeys so far today. Another player that really looks like he could be a good player. Key in this tee shot, just keep it out of that fairway bunker.
275 covers the bunker down the left. That just catches the edge and falls into it. Andy, this is where I think Omar's length could be a huge advantage because he can easily fly those bunkers, makes the fairway much wider.
That's the case of so many of the holes on this golf course. The carries are, this one's in the high 270s. There's a couple in the 280s. But if you can carry 285, 290, which he's just roasted it again, it looks like, right down the left center of the fairway. What a great driver of the golf ball he's been.
Colt, is Omar tour level long?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's not going to be the longest guy out there, but he can definitely compete. He's above average.
So he's 310 in that ballpark?
No doubt.
305, 310.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the average ball speed on the PGA Tour nowadays, it's 173 to 175, and he's definitely above that. He doesn't have to peel many head covers off into par 4s like I used to. Just torched.
That one passed the last divot. That was his divot from yesterday.
20-year-old from Mexico, Omar Morales, has treated us to quite an exhibition of golf. He's 7 under playing the 13th hole, and he has a 6-shot lead here in the 3rd round of the Latin America Amateur Championship.
Let's go down to the 14th hole. Zhu is struggling a bit today, 184 yards. Wind should be back at the Players. He's having a tough day. 6 over. There's, you know, on a day when everybody's going low and you're going the other direction, there's not a worse feeling in the world. He can get that one up and in. You know, come up with something positive these last 5 holes, make a couple of birdies, get you set up to do something special tomorrow on Sunday. Marcelio, also a couple over par. He's a player I really expected to be in the middle of this. I love his golf swing. He's got a lot of history here. It doesn't mean he can't jump right back into it. Obviously, he's 12 shots behind the leader, but 6 out of 2nd place. That still is a possibility with 23 holes to play, but he's got to start hitting some quality shots, give himself some looks. You just can't keep missing greens in spots that it's tough to get the ball up and in.
Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Les habla Matías Domínguez, ganador de la primera edición del LAAC el 2015. Les mando toda la suerte del mundo, tremendo campeonato que se les viene.
El LAAC ha sido una experiencia increíble para mí, obviamente me ha abierto muchísimas puertas. Es un torneo increíble, probablemente los top 3 de mi vida, entonces disfrútenlo, jueguen muy bien y mucha suerte.
Vivan una semana increíble como es lo del LAAC, es casi jugar un Major, lleno de cámaras, la atención increíble, así que muchísima suerte y que gane el mejor.
aprovechen esta semana, disfrútenla y que esta experiencia los marque de buena manera para sus carreras, tanto profesionales como personales.
Bueno, nada, ganar el LAAC y jugar 2 majors me cambió la vida. Así que nada, quería desearle suerte a todos los aficionados que van a jugar el LAAC 2024 en Panamá. Desearle lo mayor de los éxitos y un abrazo grande a todos.
What it means to me is the world. I mean, for us to have the opportunity to play in this event and to have the chance of playing in majors and so forth, it's going to be a great opportunity, and I look forward to playing in my 3rd LAAC and hopefully have a chance to win it.
Creo que cada oportunidad y experiencia me enseñó de forma diferente diferentes aspectos de mí y de mi juego. Creo que nada de todo eso obviamente hubiese sido posible si no hubiese participado del LAAC.
Nice to hear from the past champions. Only Aaron Jarvis has not turned professional. He's playing this week and is tied for 40th, has not had his best stuff. So Chile's won it 3 times, 3 of the first 4 in fact. Argentina twice, De Oliveira and Abel Gallegos. Mexico, the Cayman Islands, and Costa Rica, 1 each. Mexico looking like it is well on its way to a 2nd title. And now Fuenmayor of Colombia.
De La Fuente hit a really good shot from the fairway bunker, got it on the front edge. This from 165, drawn a little left of the hole.
That will be just fine. Now Colt, our leader.
Surprise, surprise, another perfect tee shot. And the longest of the group, just 151. 145 gets you up top. This is 9-iron.
On the dance floor. A lot of golf left. He just needs to keep 1 shot at a time, staying in the present.
Right, after back-to-back bogeys, Lubuena for birdie.
And he had an amazing run going. 6 under the first 5 holes in the back 9. Unfortunately, then a couple of bogeys. It's cooled him off a little bit.
Down to De La Fuente. Been really impressive. For more on the young Mexican standout, let's go to John.
Rich, I think Santiago de la Fuente is a prime example of taking advantage of the opportunity this window gives you playing this tournament. He played Guadalajara Country Club, home course of Loreno Ochoa and Carlos Ortiz, and he set a course record. Then through Instagram, he started to get contacted by different universities, but he needed a full scholarship, so he went to Arkansas Tech. And when he had that great tournament in Casa de Campo, in Diente de Perro, in Teeth of the Dog, the University of Houston Division I gave him a full scholarship. So it's all about playing good golf and things will happen. We'll see what happens today, finishing with Santiago de la Fuente, and he's also a very good friend with Omar Morales.
John, thank you. And here is De La Fuente.
75 feet up the hill, moving hard to his left, bounced really bad early, and that took all the steam out of it.
Waco Lubuena at the 18th.
Out with the driver, looking for one last good swing. It's been a little bit of a wobble in these last few holes, but needs to find the fairway here.
He really made quite a run. Had everybody fired up here. 6 under through the first 5 holes of this back 9, beginning with an eagle on number 10. I mentioned he, what's up, Waco? Mentioned he won that professional event in Argentina. That same tournament going back to 1932 that Di Vincenzo, Vicente Fernandez, Eduardo Romero, Andres Romero all won. So now, guy who got a taste of the professional ranks a year ago, Omar Morales.
And Rich, going back to yesterday, I mean, other than the 9th hole where he had a poor tee shot, he's never really been in a stressful situation. Been able to putt from just off the fringes, never had to grind out a par. It's been so impressive. This one should pick up a little speed right there.
So many ridges and slopes you have to deal with that you can hit some putts that afterwards you think, man, did I misread that or did it do something different? There's just so difficult to do. Get those perfect reads. Here's one coming down the slope, moving hard to the right.
De La Fuente came up well short with that birdie attempt. Got a good 15 feet left. That first putt looked like you dribbling back in your day, Rich Lerner.
This to save, Colt. Kind of had to have it, but you're hesitant to start with must makes on a Saturday, but when you're 6 shots back,
he can't make mistakes.
You need it.
Yeah, he's got to just. Can you hope to catch him? Well, you just got to keep playing. Hopefully, he makes a mistake or two.
Yeah, that was super cool too. Put the shades on.
Looked like a 4 the whole way.
Yeah.
They don't ask for descriptions on that little square on the card.
So Juan Mayor tied for second.
These are so important. You just don't want to do something that changes the momentum, getting you thinking something different.
Stress-free, to Colt's point. Can be that way when you're playing a game of 330 out and 130 in.
That helps.
Yeah. Wakaluduena second at the 18th hole.
Nice lie up on a nice plateau. He's looking at around 160 yards down the hill to this green.
Hole's in a nice location. I think there could be some birdies here, basically in the middle of the green. Just have to get it over that little ridge that he came up short.
So the Latin America Amateur Championship was modeled after the very successful Asia Pacific Amateur Championship won just this past year by Jasper Stubbs of Australia, back home in Australia at Royal Melbourne. And later this year, we're going to Japan at the base of Mount Fuji, about 90 minutes outside of Tokyo. Taiheiyo Club, the Gotemba course. You played that track.
I've played a tournament over there many, many years ago. Great experience going to Japan, seeing the different cultures, having an opportunity to play different kinds of golf courses, different kind of grasses. Korai, it's a grainy, brittle putting surface that you literally can hear the ball roll. It's that stiff.
So Martin Slumbers of the RNA, Chairman Ridley of Augusta National, there with the officials for Japan Golf Association for that announcement. Excited to be going back to Japan. All right, bunker for Xavier. Now we're live with Mateo Fuenmayor.
Playing 184 today, back into the wind. Close to 200. Oh, he hates it. One hand, head down, headed way left.
The hole's cut right in the bottom of a little bowl in the middle of the green, that if you get it just short of the hole or just a little bit left of it, it should release down the hill and get closer to the where the flag is cut in the green.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Andy. That 184, though, playing close to 200 yards, but if you can hit your number, you can get it close because it all funnels right towards it.
If this was a little shorter shot, this could be one of those hole-in-one one pins. It's long enough. You're not going to have enough players get it close. 5 birdies so far today. Bill's playing just a little bit over par. He aims everything out to the right. Tries to turn it.
Well, this one did not turn. Going to find the collection area right of the green.
But not the most difficult up and in. He's got a little backstop past the hole if he wants to use it.
That's the biggest miss with an iron shot I can remember in the last 2 days. And it's not that bad.
Maybe a chance here for Santiago de la Fuente if he can stuff one in close.
Take a look at a lot of power in that swing.
This one headed a little right as well, needs to get down.
Okay. They're going to have 2 very similar pitches from down there. But that's a lot better than over to the left of the green.
See if he can finish it off in style. The guy who's got Tiger tattooed on his arm, Waco Luduena. This for a back 930. Oh, it's tracking.
Yes.
Go ahead, do
yes.
that. Waco
with 2 bogeys. What a way to finish. Round of 66.
5 birdies and an eagle on the inward half. 6 birdies in all to go with the 4 bogeys. 4 under, 66, 36-30 for the Argentine.
Well, that just looked like it was going to go in the whole way up there, just gently turning from right to left. What a way to finish the day. And he did some moving up on the leaderboard.
He started at 6 over, well outside the top 25, and he is now in 7th. Yeah. T-Dub would love it.
Is there a royalty conversation there?
All the young players that Tiger has inspired. Morales is leading by 6 here, the 3rd round of the Latin America Amateur Championship from Panama. This is Mateo Fuenmayor, currently 3 under, tied for second here, playing the 14th hole.
This is not a good spot. Downhill lie, lands it on a downslope. Oh my goodness, how good is this?
Sensational shot.
Colt, if you gave 10 more balls to hit from there, would he get it any closer?
No, and he doesn't want to have to try again.
We're live with Morales.
Let's see how his hands are. Haven't seen him chip much this week. This one about as easy as it gets, though. Uphill, back into the wind. Yeah, no problem.
That's just a kind of shot you'd practice in the practice range thousands of times. He is in complete control of his game today.
Yeah, Andy, he missed that iron shot, but he missed it in the right spot.
Yeah.
I mean, had plenty of green to work with, up the hill, no issues at all. Very similar shot for Santiago, one that he probably has eyes on holing.
That's just what I was going to ask you, that this is one that he probably thinks 1 out of 5 he'd make from here. Oh, he's chunked it a little bit.
I would have lost a lot of money if you would have told me he has the longest par putt.
Yeah, I agree. There might even been some odds involved in that. He just can't afford to make a mistake and drop a shot. It doesn't look like Omar's going to make many mistakes. Definitely turned into a 3-man race.
He's trying not to lose touch at this point. Jeopardy here late in this third round. Morales has been flawless. 7 under. Again, par of 70. We're finishing up here the par 3, and then 2 par 4s, a 3, and the closing 4. No par 5s on the way in. Par putt now for De La Fuente.
And I would have to think Santiago and Mateo are in a little bit of shock of what they're seeing from Omar. I mean, 2 under par 68 is the lowest round we've had all week heading into today. And Omar's 7 under par on his round. Looks like he's playing a different golf course.
We had a great look at that from behind. Ball rolled beautifully, catching the left edge and sneaking in, but nice save after the very average pitch shot.
A couple of good saves. Par putts for Santiago De La Fuente. Bogey free and 3 under for the round. Maintaining a level head. And Fuenmayor.
That is just an incredible 3 from where he hit it.
It doesn't take a lot of time. Love makes up his mind, steps up, and takes care of his business. That's worth a smile. He hasn't broken many smiles out there today, but that one was worth it. Now back into locked-in mode.
I'm standing next to Omar's dad, Jamil. I just reminded him to breathe. I am not CPR certified.
He has room to breathe. Yes. Lead is still 6. Heading to the 15th hole. The other big story on the day, Waco Luduena. So didn't do much on the front side. He eagled 10. We pick him up at the 11th hole. 3-3 to get out of the gates on the back 9. Birdie at 12. Here another one at 13. Sneaks it in the right side. That's 4 threes to open the back 9. He's fired up.
What a beautiful putting stroke.
Can I get a 2 on the card?
Of course you can.
Yes, we can. 4 threes and a deuce. So the momentum halted just briefly with bogeys at 15 and 16, par at 17, and here's how he closed it, Andy.
This reminds me so much of playing golf with you, Rich. Just every one of these goes right in the middle of the hole.
More like the guy he's honoring with the ink on his arm, TW. Birdie at 18, which we saw so often through the years. And a round of 66 for the 25-year-old Argentine.
He made 2 pars his last 13 holes, but thank heavens there are a lot of those circles. What a round of golf. 30 on the back 9 with 2 bogeys. I didn't know that was possible.
A lot of international experience the last couple of years. Part of the winning Argentine team in the South American Amateur Team Championship in Colombia. Played the Eisenhower Trophy in Abu Dhabi. As we watch Fuenmayor. Look out.
That is not good at all. He's had a couple of those. It gets a little short, a little speeds up. His miss has been left.
Now Morales.
Wind blowing really hard off the player's right here. He can start this one up the right towards those bunkers and let the wind move it. You put it in the fairway here, this is a birdie opportunity. Just gorgeous. Right out of the center of the club face.
Been driving clinic today.
He is just playing beautifully. Didn't even think about that bunker. He flighted it down so the wind would not eat it up. Whole location day is cut in a very awkward spot over the big mound in the middle of this green. You're going to have to carry it all the way to the hole, but back into the breeze, you should be able to stop it. Downwind, it would be a whole different story. He is as calm as it gets.
Nice tee ball, De La Fuente.
Gave it a little club twirl there.
Colt Fuenmayor going to hit a provisional.
Yeah, his clipped a palm tree down the left. Not quite sure where it ended up. Yeah, there is a fence over there which is out of bounds. This one is headed right.
A little squirrely with a few tee shots, but he's still hanging in at 3 under par and tied for second. And stay with us. When we come back, so good the booth yesterday. He's been invited back from Panama. Miguel Ordonez has just finished his 3rd round. He will offer his thoughts on what's happening, how the course is playing, and what's going on in his beautiful country of Panama.
San Diego State product Justin Hastings with this birdie opportunity at the par 3. They've shortened the hole today dramatically, playing 138, giving the players a hole location just up over a ridge. Make it a little bit exciting. Now Xavier back at the 16th, former par 5 made into a par 4 this week. Just rip it down the middle, and the toughest part of this hole is that approach shot to a very awkward hole location in an awkward green.
Eight previous Latin American Amateur Championships. Best finish by a Panamanian player was right here in 2017, Miguel Ordóñez, who finished in a tie for 8th. And yet again, he's on his way to a respectable performance. 70 and 72 the last 2 rounds, and Miguel Ordóñez is currently in a tie for 25th. Back in his home country, played a lot of elite level amateur golf, made the match play last 2 of the last 3 years at the U.S. Mid-Amateur, and Miguel joins us in the booth once again. Second straight day. Good to see you.
Hello, Rich. How you doing, Mr. North? It's an honor and a privilege. I didn't do it as bad because you guys asked me to come back, so I'm thrilled.
How about the conditions as we watch this final group on the final 4 holes?
Yeah, I think that the executive committee felt that that they wanted to. Usually LAAC, the 3rd round, it's the gauntlet. They really try to separate the players, but I think this year, the way the course was playing, they felt like they wanted to give the players a chance. And I think they made the right decision, because with what Omar Morales is doing right now, he's clearly separating himself, and that's what championship golf should be all about, identifying the best player on the field, and I think Morales is that by far right now.
Let's bring in Colt just to get an idea of what Fuenmayor is looking at here.
He is inbounds, just called a rules official over. There's some anthills and some lining in the ground he's trying to get relief from.
That will give him a little bit more room to swing the club. Well, I think this is really key, that too often players that play this game don't have any idea what the rules are. Everybody thinks the rules are to penalize you, to hurt you. They also will help you if you understand the consequences. And it looks like he's going to get a little bit more room. Maybe he'll be able to get this ball to the green.
And I cannot tell you how good of a break that is, Mr. North. I mean, 90% of balls that you hit down that left side end up going under that fence OB. So he caught a great break.
De La Fuente.
127 back into the wind. Got to get it over that slope.
He did. What a nice play.
He's a real shot maker, Miguel, isn't he?
He is. I had the opportunity to play with Santi both the first 2 rounds. I love his game. I think he's got game for days. He's amazing. He controls his golf ball. He got a little frustrated yesterday with his putting. He felt like they weren't dropping, and I told him this morning, I said, just hang in there. And I mean, right now obviously it's Morales to win, but he's hanging around, so he can still be a factor.
All right, another flip here for the leader, Colt.
Rather large tee shot, 98 yards. Great opportunity to stuff one close here.
Either he has to land it on top of the ridge and let it release down, or carry it all the way to the hole with some spin.
This one drawn just a little right of it, needs to spin. All right,
that's fine.
It's going to creep just onto the fringe, but it stays there. That'll be a very makeable putt back up the hill. Let's take a look at his downswing coming into the ball. Really rotates around the spine very nicely. Head stays exceptionally still.
Fuenmayor.
After his drop, I got him at 136 yards. I don't think he should have any tree trouble. Might have to just be a little careful with the backswing. This one coming in hot.
He'll have to rely on that short game yet again. It has been sharp. Trying to chip into this lead. Not easy, because Omar Morales has been to this point unstoppable. 9 under and leading by 6 here at Panama.
Xavier with his second shot at the 16th, 490 yards today. Hole just about in the middle of the green. This is one of the more difficult greens to get the ball on the green and anywhere near the hole. Par 5.
You said it, Mr. North. It's just plain brutal. It's like hitting it into a quarter. Quarter coin. There's nothing out there.
Dealing with that. I mean, it looked like just a gap wedge. 138 playing downwind. There was a hole-in-one here early this morning. Encina from Chile. He birdied 16, made a hole-in-one on 17, and birdied 18. Did you ever dream that could be done on those 3 holes?
No. That's amazing. This is a really tough shot. I mean, the grass is into you. Let's see how good he can be, but he did it great. That's a lot of acceleration, because if you don't, it gets sticky and the club just shuts and you hit it right in front of you.
Third round of the Latin America Amateur Championship. Fuenmayor did chip up, and in blue, but red hot, is Omar Morales, and Colt Nost is down there.
Well, it's technically not a green in regulation, but this is a great look from 20 feet. Should roll smoothly through that little bit of fringe he has to go through. But I don't see a lot of movement in it. It's one he can be aggressive with.
Much better putting from back here off the back fringe than on top of that ridge coming down the hill.
That's for certain. I had a little trouble with this hole, so you're right.
Yeah, just leaking off. Everything comes toward the back of the green. So that angle, you'd expected it to maybe go right a little bit at the end. But another very comfortable par. You love just walking up there and raking these in.
4 straight pars now after the eagle at number 11. 11, by the way, that short par 4.
I think this is an important moment for Morales in the round. The last 3 holes are tough, although 17 was pushed up. But it's a good moment for him to just breathe, walk slowly, and gather his thoughts to get the biggest lead he can get going into tomorrow.
Here we are at 16 with Andre Xavier of Brazil, currently solo 4th.
Pitch it into the bank, taking some of the speed off. That was judged very well.
This is that big birdie putt for De La Fuente.
Moving to his left, stay high. Oh my.
No.
Wow, that is shocking.
No way.
That almost rolled a little backwards.
Well, he has just had it all over the hole today, and nothing has gone in. And he's still 3 under par for the day with really nothing falling.
Just had it read perfectly, huh?
That was just such a good putt. Just can't believe it didn't drop in.
Par putt. Okay, sneaks it in on the low side.
That was a good par save after the poor tee shot.
He's been fighting Fuenmayor, and he's tied with De La Fuente. Second place, 6 back of Omar Morales.
When they get done and get in the scores tent and sign their cards and look at each other and say, I think I had 15 less putts than you did today. We shot the same score.
And racing up to that tee box, Morales ready to go. And how about this display of driving the golf ball, Miguel?
It's amazing. I mean, we were talking about, I got to play with Jose Cristobal Islas, a teammate of his from Mexico. And I mean, those guys are amazing. Jose Cristobal also, I mean, they were out driving by 60, 70 yards. I mean, I was just like a fan out there watching these kids. It's crazy how much speed they can generate.
Hey, you were one of 4 over 40s that were playing this week. You've got to take some pride into making the cut and being in contention.
I do. I'll take myself with the hybrids and the 3 woods.
Miguel, that club right there is a weapon for that man. That was a bullet.
Is it ever cold? It was just smoke. And I mean, a perfect fade, just what the golf hole requires. And now he's in the mayor's office, although it's a very tough pin to a very narrow green.
That's good.
The par save for Xavier. But I bet you he's missed a half a dozen of those 5-footer and ins. But you'd surely think that has to go a little bit right. You understand what he was thinking.
Back to 1 over for the day now, Fuenmayor.
You mentioned Omar hitting it in the mayor's office. Miguel, that would be your office from what I've seen this week. You are the mayor around here.
Touche, Gold, touche.
Officially, director of the academy here at Santa Maria and director of membership as well.
Correct.
Yeah, so how do we get a membership here?
Well, you got to talk to me, and we'll get you settled. We'll get you. It's very easy. We just get you a property, and then you talk to me, and you know, if it's you, Mr. North, we'll probably give it to you for free.
There you go. It sounds like a deal.
We want Santi tee off here, and
hey, I'm the one down here complimenting you.
Well, hold on a second. I noticed, Miguel, you're calling him Mr. North, and I'm just Rich. Of course, I don't. Was it those 2 U.S. Opens versus my 2 Berkeley Country Club championships 35 years ago?
Yes, it was, Rich.
Yes,
it was. I called Mr. North Andy one time, and I almost punched myself in the face.
All about respect, isn't it? R-E-S-P-E-C-T. A lot of respect for what that guy is doing today. Omar Morales, wow, he is putting on a show.
Hastings from San Diego State. This is for par at 18 to finish his round. Also the Cayman Islands, and nice solid 68. 1 birdie and 8 pars in the back 9. Played his last 12 holes 3 under par, so really finished strong.
I bet any player that thought that shooting 68 today, they would have taken it. But with the course playing a little easier, obviously what Morales is doing is not the same as the first 2 days.
Yeah, the fact that you shoot 68 and you're looking at losing 5 more. Now Arzu back at the 17th that they've moved up to 138 today, really giving the players an opportunity to be aggressive.
To the 16th hole here in Panama. 2024 edition. How about 2025? We are headed back to Argentina, where it all got started in 2015. Pilar Golf Club outside of Buenos Aires has hosted the Argentine Open. Matias Dominguez winning there in a field that included Joaquin Niemann, Sebastián Muñoz, Nico Echeverria. There, proud moment for the country of Argentina. Andres Schoenbaum, the president of the Argentina Golf Association.
Really interested in seeing how that golf course has matured and grown up over the last 10 years. I thought it was a pretty cool course to start with, but in 10 years of maturity, it's going to be beautiful.
They have a hotel there now as well.
I agree. That's going to be great, having the hotel. The first year, the logistics were a little awkward. But it's a course that kind of reminds me of Santa Maria. You know, very similar, modern golf course. You know, it's wide, it's open, which means that the wind is also a factor out there. It's got some really great holes. So I'm looking forward to getting my job done and hopefully being able to be out there for a second time. Just like you, Mr. North, I'm looking forward to seeing how it's evolved. You know, with the years.
You're 40 now, Miguel. When you were 20 and playing golf, could you have imagined that in this region you'd be playing for a chance to go to the Masters, the Open, the U.S. Open?
No, it's amazing what the three institutions have done. I mean, with the Masters tournament, the RNA, and the USGA. I've said it, I don't know, 1,500 times, and I'll say it again. Thanks to them for doing this for us. I at 40, I appreciate it. I don't know if these kids do, but we're so thankful.
Yeah, I know they do. You talk to them. I think, Andy, I think you feel the same way. What stands out, in addition to the talent, is the level of gratitude.
Oh, and the improvement we've seen in those 10 years. You walk up and down the practice range now and you see a lot of really good golf swings. You see a lot of players that obviously have grown to understand how the game is to be played. And the first year you had a handful of really good players. Now there's 50 or 60. So we've come a long way, and we keep losing them to the professional ranks.
What do you know about Fuenmayor, Miguel?
Fuenmayor is a very solid player. I think this is a big moment for him. He's a good player, but he hasn't really broken through yet. So I think it's a big week for him, and he's in a great position. Like you guys have said, I've seen him fight his swing a little bit, but obviously he's doing a lot of things right around the greens.
Just such a hard hole to get it close to. There's a little downslope in front of it and a little backstop behind it. If you could use that backstop, it would help, but it's such a narrow part of the green, almost like an hourglass, and as it pinches in, that's where they stuck the pin today. Everything rolls off the green on our right, looking at the picture. Players left.
And Colt, this is a display of driving the golf ball that, it is like McIlroy on a good day.
Just tossed it out there a little over 340 yards. No big deal. Has 145 left. And you mentioned you've got that backstop that Fuenmayor just missed by about a yard. But this is another great opportunity to hit one in here close.
Colt, I had 205.
I feel you, brother.
I don't think you do.
This one just a little left of the hole. Oh, that
just carried on top. Yeah, that's going to be it.
That looks like it's about 6 inches from feeding right down to the hole.
Here's coming into the ball. It's posted up on his left at that point in time, really digs down through it. And folks at home, you notice he gets the ball before the divot? That's sort of important. Unfortunately, a lot of you don't do that. Well, this might be the worst part of the week for him. His putter cover is back in the fairway.
Only mistake they've made.
Come on, bro. Go get it. Older brother on the bag.
That's a $50 fine in the pro ranks.
I'm sure he'll hear about it, Colt.
And he won a couple of U.S. Opens. He got a little taste last year, and who knows down the road, but at LACC, not only did he hit the opening tee shot, plays for UCLA, and it was at LACC North, but he briefly led through 9 holes before backing off, didn't have his best on day number 2, and ultimately missed the cut. But what an experience.
Well, he's talked about how much he's grown from that experience, to know that not only hitting the first tee shot, a lot of pressure, but also having your name up on the top of that leaderboard after 9 holes. And he said, heck, if I can do that at the U.S. Open, there's no reason I can't do it every time I go play somewhere.
You know, he said he realized, too, that even the best tour pros aren't perfect. They don't hit every shot solid. They manage their mistakes better than amateurs do. He also played the Mexico Open at Vedante on the PGA Tour and missed the cut by only 1, second round 67. So showing flashes. Now at 17, Xavier for birdie.
Up over a ridge, now it's downhill from here.
By the way, Vicente Encina of Chile made an ace at 17 earlier today. And now De La Fuente.
Got absolutely fooled by the wind back there in the fairway. He couldn't believe it came up this far short. Got it on the ground quickly.
Colt, I really like that play. We saw him putt the ball at 13 from off the front of the green, and it hopped, and he came up about 15 feet short. That was well done.
I just like how many different shots he hits around the greens. Exactly. He's not scared to throw it up in the air, get it on the ground. He's got it all.
He's got a lot of old school in him. And he put that one on the ground quickly. He's used a lot of different clubs, pitching and chipping the ball.
Yeah, I think he's a throwback. That's what I like about his game. I got to play with him 2 rounds, like I said, and I think you Colt and Mr. North are right on the money. He's just very versatile player. He can take something off. He can hit the fairway finder when he has to. He can go after it if he needs to get, you know, a little more distance on a longer par 5. He's not the longest player on this field, but he's long enough. And I just think that if he continues to believe in himself and mature and not get frustrated on the greens, because they're not falling, but they're not falling for anybody. So I think he's going to be a phenomenal player for years to come.
It's just dripping it over that ridge. Just can't believe he could possibly leave it short. Arzu up at 17 for his birdie. We've seen this one drift off to the right a little bit. He judged it perfectly. Attaway.
Free flowing stroke right there.
That helps after those back-to-back bogeys at 13 and 14.
First birdie of the day for Arzu. Back to 16.
Well, I think, Rich, you were talking about McIlroy and how he can dominate a tournament or a round with his driver. And I mean, honestly, when in this hole, number 16, when you can get 145 yards, you don't even have to hit a quality shot. And like he did, he hit an okay shot. He's got 20 feet. And here we are, the rest of the field, just grinding to see how we can make 4. So it's such a weapon. And this course lends itself to be dominated with a lead driving.
Andy, I think the big thing for him tomorrow, going in with a really big lead, is he's got to use that weapon to his advantage. Stick to what got you here.
I agree.
It's the best club in his bag. Might as well use it.
Got a great look if he's aiming this one well out to the left. He's got a line in his golf ball, but he never uses it to line up on the line he's trying to putt.
Me neither. I'm not a line user either. I put the Titleist on the top, so he's one of mine.
So he's going to start this way out to the left and just barely get it moving over this grass. Probably hit this like about a 10-footer.
Okay.
Not bad. Still got a little bit of work. On a Tuesday, you look at everybody, good, good, good. Yeah, let's go to the next hole.
It ain't Tuesday. There it is. I mentioned Vicente Encina from Chile with the ace. There it is to document it all. He went Detroit on those final 3 holes with a little 3-1-3 to finish it out. And then 66 ties low round of the day so far with Waco Luduena. Oh, he used it all.
Then he went to the front 9, made 9 straight pars. After playing 3 of the hardest holes in the golf course, 4 under.
That's amazing. I have never heard or seen that, and if I haven't heard it or seen it out here, it's because I don't think it has ever happened. So until today,
you would know.
The 3-1-3 is going to be rocking this weekend. Dan Campbell's got the boys going up there in Detroit.
Are you a Detroit fan? Are you a Lions fan, Cole? Am I getting that vibe?
No, sir. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, unfortunately, considering you're sitting next to that Green Bay Packer fan.
Cole, don't do that to me. I'm a Cowboys fan. It was an embarrassment last week. Let's just call it what it was.
The cream came to the top.
And I'm a sad Eagles fan sitting over here. Morales, just take care of business here.
He's been rock solid on all those short ones today. Have to pay attention. There's a little bit of movement in most of them. So they've checked off another really difficult hole with a par and walking to 17. And here's the 17th hole. This is really a beautiful par 3. What they've been able to do, they've used multiple tees this week, multiple hole locations. We've seen it play 190 yards. Today, it's going to play 138, and they've given the players a difficult hole location. If you're shooting it right at the flagstick, if you want to take it to the right and work it in a little bit right to left, it will actually spin left a little bit. So it's a fun little hole, and I love the fact that they move the distance around and challenging these players in a different way.
He is the highest ranked player in this field according to those World Amateur Golf Rankings, followed by De La Fuente, who's at 87. Justin Hastings, Cayman Islands, playing well at San Diego State, has moved inside the top 100.
So you're saying that we're getting it right, huh? Because if you look at those rankings and you look at those positions with the 3 first guys, you know, the cream is rising to the top.
Well, I think it's great that there's so many events in each country that count for points. You look at a lot of the bios, and their guys have won 3 events last year that all got points, or they had 10 top 10 finishes in events. So it's great that there's more than just a couple.
Look, Mr. North, it's become an art. The WAGR, the World Amateur Golf Ranking, has become an art. How you schedule it as a player. You can't be playing tournaments that don't have a high power, what's called the power rating in the tournaments, because you risk, if you get a bad finish, it really drops you down. And your position in the WAGR allows you to get exemptions into the best amateur events in the world. So it's really become almost like the world amateur, like the world ranking, like the official world ranking for players. It's the same as being top 50 in the world gets you into the majors, something like that. So that's what we're seeing, and that's why I think you got players that are amateurs that are a lot better prepared now than it used to be in the past.
Depending on where the tournament is, which country that would have higher value than another tournament?
Correct. It's all about the strength of the field. So if you start getting players that get ranked, for example, that's what we've done here in Panama. We see Xavier hitting the drive, he piped it. So yeah, that's what occurs. What happens is that you start ranking the players, and then the field gets stronger, and as the fields get stronger, the power rating of the tournament increases, which means that you start getting more points. So obviously, if you're playing what happens is if you play in smaller countries like the Cayman Islands or Trinidad and Tobago, and if you're consistently winning, the system's still rewarding winning, just to find those best players in each country and give them the best chances moving forward.
looks to me like Mexico is really beginning to develop more and more players. Their federation sinking money into the program. Even some of the major corporations in Mexico have begun to funnel money into amateur golf.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that. Look at the hat for Santi de la Fuente, ARA. It's called ARA. It's a new company that they just founded, and these guys. I was talking to Jose Luis Santiscari, and these guys are next level. You got Andres Echeverria, Nico's brother. You got Santiago Garad. You got Andy Ledbetter leading that group, and basically these kids, they get into this program. They're doing biomechanics. They're doing all kinds of stuff to develop them in the amateur game. So it's amazing what it's Grupo Salinas, same group that hosts the Mexico Open. Fantastic shot by Santi.
Yeah, gorgeous play. Any other countries in the region that you think are making moves and doing it the right way?
Chile went through the golden era, and now they're a little, they're starting to get the next crop. But obviously Colombia always does a good job, and Argentina.
Think about Mexican players. You can go all the way back to Victor Regalado. You would have played some golf with Victor. Esteban Toledo. Obviously the best on the women's side is Lorena Ochoa, unquestionably.
I think about the only thing we can tell Omar is, tuck his shirt, because if he's going to be hoisting trophies, we want him with his shirt in.
Maybe you hit it further if you take your shirt out. You should
Maybe.
try that
You
tomorrow.
know what? I'm going to do it. You know what, Mr. North?
Miguel appropriately, old school. Let's do it the right way. So it's a 6-shot lead for Omar Morales. He's working on 5 consecutive pars here in the 3rd round of the Latin America Amateur Championship on a breezy, warm, and sunny afternoon in Panama.
Let's go up to A2. Xavier, as he's hitting it on the 18th hole. It's a very doable hole location at 18. And he's on the dance floor, but not as happy as you'd like to have been. That's one that you can knock in there 10, 15 feet of the hole. Tough judging the wind on this hole. Maybe the most difficult hole in the golf course to judge the wind, because of those tall buildings on the left side of the hole. When the wind's coming out of the north, it moves through there and it changes the direction it's going. We've seen it fool a lot of players this week.
Yes, sir. It's also because of that, what you just mentioned with the towers, the 3 tall towers right around it, that green doesn't get enough sunlight, and we've had to really do a lot of things to try to get it prepared. And currently we are evaluating several options. One is redoing the green, the other one is moving it around just to be able to get a little more sunlight, because it's just a challenge. It's become a challenge on a day-to-day basis, just having that green.
So there's no sun onto that green in the morning at all.
Correct. You get very limited sunlight, and you have to remember, Panama is a country where it rains about 8 to 9 months of the year. So the conditions we're getting right now are not usual. This is not our usual conditions.
This 18th hole is a terrific finishing hole. It requires a high-quality tee shot, and then a green that's very awkward. It's not easy to get it to the hole.
The Latin America Amateur Championship is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Delta, keep climbing. Priam Science, applied to life. And Rolex.
We have had such a good week here in Panama. 2nd time down here. Nothing but smiling faces. Food is superb here. Went to Maitos, one of the best restaurants in all of Latin America last night.
I was there the night before, and so was our leader and his dad and brother.
You go from Panama to about Augusta National in April. Pinehurst, #2 for the U.S. Open in June. Royal Troon for the 152nd Open in July. The amateurs at Ballyliffin in Ireland, and then Hazeltine National in Minnesota for the 124th U.S. Amateur.
What a summer schedule.
Yeah. It's a life changer. No question. Now, Morales in control.
Yeah, played that approach shot rather safe. Left himself 40 feet. Going to move right early, and then should start to come back to the left as it dies down.
One of the longer putts he's had, and hit it beautifully.
Airtight.
He'll take 19 more par putts that length.
Exactly. No stress at all.
6 straight pars for Morales.
If he just keeps going about his business. Now, he was tied for the lead. The first day was 69. Lead, the second day was 69. So even in the tough conditions, he hasn't had a lot of stress on him.
Now, let me tell you, 7 under par in this golf course, even though, you know, the conditions were a little easier today, and the USGA and the executive committee kind of gave us some easier pins, it's unbelievable playing. I mean, he's going to have the course record by a mile after today.
Largest 54-hole lead at the Latin America Amateur Championship. Previously, 4 shots by Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira. That was last year in Puerto Rico, and he went on to win by 4. Record 72-hole score of 23 under par.
You never have enough. You just keep getting them. If you're 6 ahead,
yeah,
you'd love to be 7.
It's crazy how that works, Mr. North. You're absolutely right. If you're 6 ahead, you want to be 7. If you're 7, 8, it's weird how the mind of the golfer works. But I agree with you. I think it's his day. He's got 1 more hole, and why not make it 7? You know.
Andy, it reminds me back to Tiger Woods' Masters in 1997 when his father told him heading into that final round, with the massive lead, this is going to be the most difficult round of your life, but at the end could be the most rewarding.
Absolutely. That you're not ever used to having those kind of leads. And all of a sudden you start protecting it and doing something you're not used to doing, and it causes problems. We've seen that happen so many times.
It's a big birdie right there.
Yeah.
5 is doable. While we have a moment, let's go down to John Sutcliffe.
With Joaco Ludeña, what a great fun round. 6 birdies, an eagle, 4 bogeys. Just talk about your round today. Habla un poco de la ronda.
Yeah, you say the round was incredible. I played very solid on the back 9. I made 5 under, so I made a lot of putts, so I played really solid.
How different was the course playing 200 yards shorter than yesterday? Was it different in the first 2 days? ¿Fue diferente que los primeros 2 días la cancha?
Sí, fue muy diferente. Yo lo sentí, obviamente me vino muy bien y me sentí mucho más cómodo también con el juego que llevo planteando en esta semana. Ayer no pude tener un buen día, pero bueno, hoy sí lo pude plasmar.
Yes, I think it did play a lot easier. The game I have been planning during week had been working today, not the first 2 days, but I'm happy where I am. Pues un buen bife, un buen asadito, ¿no? Para festejar, to celebrate a good round.
Sin duda, sí, un buen ojo de bife.
Un buen ojo de bife. Why are we always talking about food? I don't understand that.
That's your guy right there, John Sutcliffe.
Well, you look at this scorecard. 4 squares, but surely made it up with a whole bunch of those good circles. 66. A lot of people would have thought, well, that'll be the lowest score of this week by far. Well, that's not the case. And how about that? I think we need to talk about royalties of some kind. There could be an infringement here someplace.
Tiger doesn't need them.
Oh, boy.
Let's call Tiger.
All right.
right-hand rough. That changes how you play this hole. Such a different shot coming out of the fairway.
And Andy, that is a long ways back. That is going to be a difficult second.
Did that surprise you at all, Colt? He's hit driver here, I think, every other day.
Yeah, he went with the fairway wood there, and I think he mishit it quite a bit because he's got over 200 yards left, it looks like.
Well, yesterday he hit driver. He hit it down the left side, and he was in the bank. So I think that's why he took out the fairway wood this time.
Well, he should have done what he did because that one is perfect.
Yeah, that's a really nice. He also owned fairway metal.
Andy, I picked up this group at the 7th. And this man, Omar, right here, has put on a driving clinic, as we have said all day, has not missed a fairway since then, and hadn't even come close, honestly. He's pretty much bet in the dead center of every fairway.
Probably average at 325.
And I love this. Going with the driver. Why not?
That's when you know you're confident. He's got to keep this. You see the little small building down? That you see the tall buildings? The one. That's his line, because with his length, he's got to keep it on the right side. If he does that, he's going to get a wedge in.
Oh, no.
Oh, my. That finds the water. That is shocking.
So I think about your buddy, your countryman, Omar Tejera, who played with him on day one, and I said, what'd you think of his game? He said, this kid can really hit it, can move it, but he takes some incredibly aggressive lines. Again, the inference was that he may pay a price at some point. I don't know they can necessarily fault him because he's just been hitting it so well. But here we are, and now the game has changed, Colt.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of lost that ball in there. I saw where it splashed, but I thought he could drop a little farther up there.
Went left of that.
So this is going to be a re-tee hitting his third. This is just got interesting.
Well, the wind's coming from the left, and with his length, yeah, there you go. That's the line that he needed to hit, and he's not happy. And he better get his emotions under control because it can get out of hand quickly.
Andy, do you in any way question the choice of driver? 6-shot lead. I know he'd been driving it well. Any question at all, or just a mistake, and that's it?
I think that that's been his best club. I like the play. This is his first tee shot, just a dead pull. Looked like he was aiming it down the left-hand side, like he was trying to play a cut or something, but I'm surprised he didn't look at options of maybe walking up another 100 yards and hitting it from. He could have probably dropped it up in this area where he's walking right now.
I think that's where experience comes in, Mr. North. I think he, I've just seen his gestures and how he's handling. Look, he's still got a 5-shot lead, and he just got to calm down and make the best he can. But I think he got a little sped up, and he didn't look at his options like you said.
Andre Xavier here at the 18th.
Nice 2-putt to finish the day.
Well, that is a pretty dramatic development here as the leader, Omar Morales, has rinsed his tee shot. The 18th hole, and now it's getting interesting.
What a change in events, Miguel. That's shocking as well as he's been playing. But welcome to this game. That's why you just keep having to stay in the presence. You just keep grinding away.
You know this better than I do, but this is the greatest game in the world because of that. It seemed like we were gonna have a coronation, and all of a sudden one swing changes everything. And don't underestimate the birdie putt Santi de la Fuente made on 17. He hadn't made anything all day, like you said, but he's playing a fabulous round. And what's happening now is that Omar, if he doesn't get his emotions under control, he can make a double or a triple. And if Santi just makes a par or a birdie, it's game on. And we got a tournament tomorrow.
this is not at all the way he wanted to finish this day. But he is an amazing player. Maybe he stuffs it and gets out of here with a bogey and gets fortunate. But I mean, why is that second shot always so much better than the first ones? But great look back at the 18th. Wide fairway at that angle, then it narrows down as you get down there. So Marcellus was hitting into a much narrower area with the driver than these guys were with the 3 woods. But if you pull it off, you're hitting 3 clubs less, probably coming into the green.
Now this is a tough shot. He's gonna have a blind shot. He's got to aim. He's got to pick up a good line.
Santiago de la Fuente in the water off the tee, hit a second tee shot, so he's laying 3. The lead that had been 6 before the 17th hole is now down to 5 because de la Fuente made 2 at the 17th. They could cut even deeper into that lead here.
Well, he would take 4 right now and go sign his scorecard. He has 224 yards left. Throws it way up in the air. Just a little left of the hole. Looks good.
Oh, what a shot.
Yes.
Santi de la Fuente. Game on here in Panama. Wow.
Well, and all of a sudden he just felt a shot in the arm. When Morales makes a mistake off the tee, he just feels energized, and there you go. And now, tomorrow, Santi maybe, half an hour ago, he thought it wasn't his week, and now, all of a sudden, game on, boys.
That from 175. Catches the right-hand greenside bunker.
There haven't been a lot of these tournaments won on Saturdays. You have to get through that last day, and it's hard. And that's why you just never can be far enough ahead. Yeah, he's got it down here in perfect position now, Colt. See if he can hit a great shot and finish with a bogey. It'd be a shot in the iron back for him if he could pull off something here.
Yeah, look, I like him hitting driver whenever it fits. It gets a little narrow here at 18. I mean, he's only got 140 left, but he was very close to running out of room up this left side. So maybe this hole with the helping wind off the left isn't the proper driver, isn't the proper club.
I agree 100% with that. For somebody like me that hits it 40 yards shorter, it's a perfect play because I hit it to the widest part of the fairway. But with somebody with the length of Morales, he should have taken 3-wood, and I think he's going to learn his lesson for tomorrow.
If he could get out of here with a bogey, he would just absolutely float to the scoring tune.
Got it caught up in the wind a little bit. It swirls around those big buildings on the left side of this hole. That will not be the easiest 2-putt from the front edge of the green. There's a big ridge he's got to putt up over.
No, it won't. The 3-putt's very much in play, and Santi, I mean, we can have even a 4-shot swing right here.
And for Omar, the last couple of days, the only shots he's really missed have been left. You think back to the tee shot at number 9 and then the one here.
He's been so good. It's been so easy, but it's never that easy.
Now, that started off just beautifully. Very first hole, again, a 1-shot lead to begin the day, and conditions favorable, particularly early on. He makes birdie at the first. He would do the same at the par 5 second.
5 par that they moved up a little bit. He's able to knock it over the green in 2, pitch back beautifully. Rich, I think it's really important that I didn't mind playing in the wind, but I like to warm up when it wasn't blowing. These guys all started without the wind blowing this morning. They got off to a nice positive start, and as the wind picked up, you still felt like you were in control of what you're doing. There's a beautiful putt at 4.
Yeah. 3 birdies the first 4 holes for Omar Morales, and now at number 8.
And this was after just a massive tee shot. Only was left with about 65 yards to the hole, pitched it up about 5 feet. Nicely done, a little 31 on the front, and then it even got more fun. Par 5, 10th. This is for Eagle. Hit a fabulous drive, had only a 7-iron left. Tap in birdie, but at this point in time, everything's going his way. The drivable par 4, 11th. Back into a little bit of breeze, hits just an absolute gorgeous tee shot. Just on the front fringe, only about 15 feet from the hole.
Look at that ball speed, 186, huh? That's Rory McIlroy, man. That's amazing.
And now, when he's knocking some putts in, watch out. And this one was right in the middle. That got him a 7 under par for the day after 11 holes.
So Eagle at that short par 4. And now at 18, this is where it all went the other way. Hard left, water, and he would have to reload. And now he's going to have to work just to make double bogey. Meanwhile, De La Fuente, who had been 6 shots back, standing on 17T, made birdie at 17. So for the moment, he's 5 back, and it could be 3 in just a matter of a couple of minutes. Just a moment ago, Fuenmayor. What a shot.
It's a really,
yeah, applause all the way around. Exactly.
Really important up and down for him. It keeps him in the mix for tomorrow.
This guy's a wizard, man.
Yeah, his short game's been phenomenal.
This will be the group that will play together again tomorrow.
All right. What's this look like, Colt?
Looks like a very long putt, 51 feet. Uphill the entire way. I believe it should fall to the right as it starts to slow down.
Surprised he's got the flag out in these putts with these ridges. It's I tend to leave them in just to get a better depth perception.
He's been good with the speed all day.
Look out.
Wow,
he's going to have a lot of work left for a double bogey. So De La Fuente has a birdie putt upcoming.
The worst part of this, Rich, is that this is either he makes this or he doesn't. He'll think about this hole all night long. It'll be hard to get rid of this.
Even if he makes that putt, De La Fuente 2 putts, the lead will have shrunk to 3 after having been 6. Yeah, nervy moments for Omar Morales, and a whole new world for Santiago De La Fuente. And that's why you continue to dig. He made a lot of clutch par putts, as Santi did, to just kind of keep himself within earshot of the lead.
He's rolled the ball really well. Not many have gone in for him. See if he can get this one.
All right, Colt.
I mean, can you imagine if this drops? We will have a serious ball game on our hands tomorrow. Down the hill, moving to his left.
Hold the line and go. Now, again, not quite, but still, from where he was, well outside of 200 yards in for the second shot. As Colt said, he'll take 4. He gets it. It's a superb round, bogey-free of 4 under 66. He's going to have a great crack at it tomorrow. Just a dramatic turn of events here, really in one swing.
Well, this is a huge putt to be able to get out of here with a double and still have a 3-shot lead.
This is a big moment in this championship right now, guys. Morales needs to find it in him. Everything has sped up. He needs to, take some breaths and just trust his line. It's not an easy green to putt. Like we've said, it's got the issue with the sunlight, and it's pretty rolled. So he's gonna have to put a good stroke, because if not, the ball's gonna wiggle offline. So we're rooting for him right now.
Yeah, miss or make though, Andy, that tee shot is going to be on his mind all evening, even into tomorrow morning. You're just kicking yourself the rest of the day saying, why did I do that right there?
This is critical. See. What a good putt.
Way to hang
Big
in.
putt.
Not often you say double bogey and around a 65.
That was a big time putt. Very important. That helps your attitude big time. 3 shots versus 2. Finishing with a triple would have been a disaster.
Listen, it's still a phenomenal round of golf. Kudos to him. 65. I'm pretty sure he would have taken it. So, great.
Quick look ahead to the final round on Sunday, Miguel.
I can't wait. I think these two Mexicans are going to go at it. It's going to be a heavyweight fight. I can't wait to watch.
How about you're playing too? You need to go and shoot a good score yourself.
Hey, Mr. North. We're all playing our little deal.
And the setup, we think it'll be a bit more challenging than it was today, and the winds, we understand, are going to kick up.
No question. It's going to be tough tomorrow.
Andy, how about you?
Well, we saw some terrific golf today. You know, it's amazing how one swing can change the way you look at a golf tournament. He was cruising, looked like he might have a 6 or 7 shot lead. Now game on. It's going to be a fun Sunday.
Miguel, we look forward to watching you play, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for all that you've done. Superb commentary, and so they're headed toward the biggest Sunday of their lives, with all that is at stake: the Masters, U.S. Open, the U.S. Amateur, and the Amateur as well. Great thanks to Sellershy and Mike Crow, leading all of the hardworking women and men in the truck and on the ground. For my partner, Andy North, Colt Knost, Iona Stephen, and John Sutcliffe, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now from Panama and the Latin America Amateur Championship.